seconds, 987. We're coming. The Pantheon stream is here. Marcus and Darius and Chillmonger.
Yeah, what's going on, folks? Just gonna wait for somebody to speak.
What's up and what's going on, everybody?
It's live, pal.
What's going on, Pantheon Watchers, Black Panthro, Brother Stark?
He said it's October 3rd. That's got to be related to Mean Girls.
What?
He said it's October 3rd, so that's got to be related to the Mean Girls.
Oh, Regina George, is that her?
Regina George and all them. Yep. Tina Fey was in there.
What's Lindsay's character's name? It was her character that said it.
I don't know, but she was African.
Yeah.
African. Cut it the fuck out.
What's up, everybody? How is everybody doing today? We appreciate everybody being here this evening. We are sorry we're late, but hey, are we not late every Thursday? I feel like so. We appreciate, but we make up for it because we stay longer. We stay longer and we hang out and we get off topic and go off the rails. So expect some of that. Expect some good topics. But the first thing you can expect is us to ask Chill, how the heck have you been since we saw you last?
At this very moment, I'm king.
Oh, okay. So we're starting. We're starting now.
I had a good day. I went to the gym, and now I'm swole like Onika's cousin's Jamaican friend. Remember after he took the COVID vaccine, he had some swollen issues. Yeah, I'm just like him.
Let me before we start the Onika jokes and before the Nicki Minaj stuff comes on, I want to make this very clear. I'm a Nicki fan. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about right now in relation to Nicki. There is a level of fandom that I am with Nicki, and it doesn't go too deep into her life at all like that.
So were you fangirling when she said, "This is the dress I'm wearing, and Michael B is gonna take it off of me"?
I still don't see. That's another reference that I have no idea what you're talking about. So my fandom.
They gonna pull your bar card, Darius. Don't be just out here telling these folks that you don't know what's going on in her life and claiming that you a barb. They gonna come and jump you.
I'm a barb.
I don't think you really know the group that you in. I don't think you know the folks that you associating with.
I do.
I don't think you're familiar.
I'm very familiar with my people.
Okay.
But I'm just not as deep in it as they are.
Okay.
Deeper. They're deeper.
Hey, listen. On behalf of the Pantheon, let me say for Darius that he is in love with Onika. He loves Nicki Minaj, and he would never say anything bad about her, and she deserves all the flowers and all of that. Never would say anything bad about her. I'm protecting you. You need to know everything about her if you want to be a bar.
I do. Okay, fine. I do. I know everything about what she ate. I know what time her eyes woke up. I mean, seconds her heart beats per.
Are you still listening to Barb Radio? Is that still a thing? Is she still on the Barbie Radio, her podcast? Is that a thing?
I don't think so. If she does, she only does it when she's really mad and has something to say.
When she's ranting about something? Oh man.
If he was a true Barb, he wouldn't have that slushy in the middle of this. Because bad girl no swallow nothing.
And is that another? And that's another one I don't.
The hit music Swallow. That's right.
Oh, see, and then let me tell you this too. There are certain songs by Nicki I just really don't fuck with.
Hey, this is getting pretty wishy-washy. I don't know where your Nicki fandom stands.
I'm a fan.
Somebody is gonna pull your card, and you better clean up on some of this.
I'm in the group of the fans of Nicki that say I miss the old Nicki. I miss the old Nicki, the Nicki that. Not this one. She's different. She has changed, and she can say she hasn't. And there are fans that can say, "Oh, she's the same." She's changed. The industry has changed her. And
I wonder what it is. I wonder what it could be. Something's gotten into her. Something's definitely gotten into her. I don't know.
Those claims. I have no idea.
I have no idea.
She's been sniffing around the wrong crowd.
I have no idea. Now, do I agree with her husband choice? No. But
who she's been collaborating with? She did a song
Shut up. They did a song together.
9. Yep.
Her and her husband.
No, 6ix9ine, not Safari. 6ix9ine.
Oh, Tekashi. Yeah. For sure.
Oh, I know that.
It girl, and we ain't playing tag. That was amazing, wasn't it? Just the peak of music. We're not playing tag. Tag, you're it.
See, I don't like that song. I'm talking like more like Nicki with Drake when they that's funny. See, I'm not y'all not about to have me on here making claims about Onika. I can't do it. I don't know.
Claim about her.
Y'all over here rubbing noses and shit.
She loves to be in Aspen. It's her favorite place to be.
Then you got Blue throwing subliminals and shit and from
Go
the
to
comments
Aspen every night, dog. She loves snow. She's a snowy person.
Being Frozen 3.
Okay. Okay. Well,
like I said, did she grow up in New York? A lot of snow in New York. Snow is everywhere in New York. Every corner.
Okay.
Adarius knows. He knows.
Okay. Another one. I agree to that. I definitely agree.
I think you're being carved out. I think you're being. Oh wait, wrong one. You're being challenged.
Oh.
I think you're being challenged.
Look, audio issues.
Audio issues.
Microphone doesn't work.
I'm sorry. Pull up to the. I'm sorry. My fault.
Yeah.
Pull up in the monster automobile gangsta with a bad bitch that came from Sri Lanka. Yeah, I'm in the Tonka color of Willy Wonka. You could be the king, but watch the queen conquer. Do I have to keep going? First thing first. Do I need to keep going? I know it.
Yeah. Keep going.
Rains. Then I'm
this
gonna
is where the
start
start happening in the part.
Because that's what a motherfucking monster do. He'll dress up in Milan as the monster's crew. Monster. Something every else on the monster. Monster crew. And I'm all up in the bank with the funny face. And if I'm fake, I ain't know this because my money ain't. And let me get this straight. Wait, I'm the rookie?
I'm the rookie?
And my features in my shows 10 times you pay. $50K for a verse, no album
out.
Yeah, my money so tall that my Bobby's got a claim.
Middle Eastern climate. Whine it. Come on, man. Where's the enthusiasm? Give it to me, Barb.
No, bro. I told you, my Nicki level fandom. It's a level. I know my Nicki though. Old Nicki. Now on this new Nicki, you can't really quiz me a lot on that.
Really,
I was with her. This what was that album? What was that album?
Anaconda.
I don't know. We're not Barbs.
No. With Chung Lee on it. I don't know which album that is. I think that's when I stopped. Pink Friday 2, I really did not like at all. She just changed. That's all. She's changed.
Oh, I was talking about this before about albums and single releases, and this is a serious question when it comes to music. I don't know if albums are right. I don't agree with them anymore. What you want is to have a hot song out, to be popular, to have that one song get radio play. Because even if you do a whole ass album, you're not going to get all 10 of the songs or maybe 15 of the songs radio play. So let one dominate at a time and never do like a whole, like basically the binge. Don't release all of your songs at once. Let it be episodic.
There are some artists that survive off of that. They supplement what they don't make off of their product. Because if you're doing what you're suggesting doing, then the music is a secondary product. It's more of an advertising or marketing ploy than it is a direct revenue driver. If you're going about it the way that you're talking about, so the type of artist. Go ahead. Are you rapping to yourself, Darius?
What is he doing?
Are you rapping to yourself over there? You have to mute yourself and get it together.
I'm pulling up the comments because I can't see it on this screen, so I'm trying to pull up what everybody's saying.
It looked like you was rapping. I don't know. Your head was bobbing.
I was rapping. Another Nicki verse. I was.
Let me get that shit together. But
I was.
Like I was saying, I think
the best stream ever. There's no topping this week. We've already everything we've ever done. The content that we posted in the last 4 months of doing this. This is the best one.
This is it.
Hello, Tony.
I was saying your model is more so like what a Cardi B provides, right? Like she hasn't made an album since her debut album. It's been 8 years. And she's mostly survived off of things outside of music, right? Brand deals, appearances, shit like that. Like, yes, the features keep her relevant within rap, but that doesn't. If you want to make money off the main product, which is supposed to be the music, you have to present it in an album form, because not only is that the way that the the labels want it to present it, right? Like if they're going to give you funding to make this music, they're going to want it in album form every so often. And then B, that's how they tour, right? The lifeblood of a performer is touring. And if you don't have a fresh well of content to present to people when you go on tour, you don't really have a successful tour. That's really what's going on with Drake, right? Number one is why he's been going on tour so much, is because he's been putting out 1 or 2 albums a year for the last 3 or 4 years.
So in his tour, the rules are the songs need to be new, because the same customer who went, you visited Chicago last year,
but it does better. So if let's say he ran it up off of Certified Lover Boy 2 summers ago, right? You're not going to come back out in 2024 and do Certified Lover Boy tour. You need something else to promote, to market. And that usually goes the best when you have a new project out. That's why Metro and Future are touring this year, because they had we don't trust you and we still don't trust you, right? If they didn't have those projects come out this year, they're not touring.
Okay, what's the number of songs you need in a tour? Because it's a 2-hour performance. Each song is 4 or 5 minutes.
Well, we're just talking about the main acts, right? So I mean, their show lasts anywhere from an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
So they themselves will go an hour and a half, which is hour 30. So if you get 10 songs in that are 3 minutes, is the math right there?
Yeah. I don't know, man, but again, if you've already seen, like me, I've already seen Future. I've seen him in college and I've seen him here in Columbus. So we don't we don't see you or we don't trust you tour, or we still don't trust you tour. If it had actually come to Columbus, I probably would have signed up for that, because it would have been new music. It would have been stuff that I would have heard. Or not new music, but music that he didn't perform the last time I saw him, because it's a different set list. He has a new collection to bring out.
Yeah,
he was doing all the stuff from his last album. He was here last time.
So the importance of albums is having multiple songs to tour, to display and to attract your same audience. But this time, I might do Mask Off, but then I got these 2 albums.
But I got these ones off the newer album as well, right? Because it's the same that they do with the damn TikTok videos and stuff. They want to get people on the newer product. You got to refresh that wheel every so often.
Where's she gonna be?
He lives in Jacksonville.
Here's what I didn't even know she was touring. She's still on tour right now.
Mm-hmm. Nope. That's another one. Nicki didn't tour last year, but she toured.
I wonder if she's coming to Oklahoma.
Get that out.
Or how close to Oklahoma she's coming?
Jacksonville. That's close enough for you, Darius, right? Out. That's just a hop and a skip for you. For Onika, Norman to Jacksonville, that's nothing.
Oh no. See, and here's my thing on concerts, bro. I'm very weird on concerts. One, because I'm weird on big crowds and mass people and shit. I don't know. I don't know. I'm weird about that. So with concerts though, if I go to a concert, I gotta go see talent, if that makes sense. If I'm I don't want to go sit because rap concerts are them mainly. It's the crowd, and then you're up there entertaining us. But if I go to an Adele concert, I'm gonna be entertained because she's like vocally, she has to sing. She has to sit there and captivate me throughout a whole show with her
Jhené
voice.
Aiko was a very good
one. Yes,
Jhené Aiko was great.
So it's like, I'm weird on concerts. Like,
no, I agree with that.
If I'm paying money to see you, it's got to be like, I'm like everybody hates Chris, his dad, when it comes to money. So if I'm paying,
we got Adele at home.
Yeah,
we got Adele at home. It's crazy.
Listen, we got surround sound. You can hear her say hello from the other side. It's a song. Yeah, there you go. It took a minute, or it wasn't that funny. One or the other.
Hello from the other side. Okay, I got you now. I didn't remember the song. I had to work it through.
Yes. Oh, worst concert I saw was Drake and 21. It was weird. No, it was Drake. It was the boy from Degrassi, childhood actor, who convinced a lot of you people that he fits in rap music, and he doesn't.
What's our first actual topic? What do we got?
Nobody buys comics.
That's a stretch on that one.
I know. I just don't think there's place.
I would say culturally, I agree with everything that Kendrick has to say, and that a lot of others have said too culturally when it comes to him trying to fit in to our culture. But when it comes to like Drake and his music, Drake has and still has had some pretty tough songs.
Or the mountain of people that he's stolen content from.
Whoever he's stolen
who is from. Is it him? Or is it the OVO sweatshop? I just want to know. Somebody let us know.
Shop, whoever's putting it together, his flow on it, his person, like that deal the other day. I don't know what it really was. I saw it on the Shade Room. I guess it was some conversation leaked between him and somebody else, or not leaked, or he shared, or somebody shared. I don't know, text messages. But he had sent her like a talk message, like he had sent her a voice message, a memo, and I thought the same shit before I went to the comments. Somebody said, "Why does it sound like if you throw a beat behind this shit, it's one of his outros?" And I was like, "That is you damn right. Like somebody needs to really take that and then put a beat behind it." Shit is funny. I like Drake.
Hey, look, he's for what it's worth, he's been able to amass a very good recording career, right? He's got a lot of accolades. You know what? It's something interesting happened this week on the pod. Josh made an assertion that he felt like J. Cole was the best rapper of the year. And
it was right after he called you out for being a barb, too.
Yeah, it was. But the thing that didn't surprise me, but the thing that surprised me was the response that we ended up getting on that video from J. Cole fans, and how eerie similar it was to the response of Drake fans anytime we had something to say about Drake during the Kendrick beef, right? It was like 1-to-1. Hey, if you don't really know rap, just say you don't know rap, bro. You know. Cole was a fake beef. He didn't really want to talk about Kendrick, so we can't hold that against him. I'm like, oh my God, listen to all this participation award energy. Listen to it. So like with Drake, again, the same thing I said about Cole. You can't take his talent away because of this situation. You can't take whatever he's been able to give the rap game away because of this situation. But I refuse in this country, where in 2024 there are so few spaces for mindless kind of competitiveness and misogyny, where it's healthy and it's okay. You know what I mean? Where it's put into this box, this competitive circle, and you can just have it out without hurting anybody or contributing to any other societal ills. And that's kind of what rap is. And when you take that and you try to interject this, oh, well, we're all good type of fucking energy, that shit irritates my soul. And I hate that Drake and his fandom has introduced that into rap, the kind of the same way LeBron has introduced it into sports. And it just irritates me that competitiveness has died in lieu of everybody getting a share at being the best. There's only one best. There's one best. That doesn't mean you suck. That doesn't mean you're not good. That doesn't mean the last 4 or 5 projects that he put out that you enjoyed. The fact that you enjoyed Might Delete This Later means that you enjoyed Might Delete This Later. It's a completely subjective fact. There's nothing measurable about you liking Might Delete This Later, right? The one thing that is objective is that the boogeyman over there, the one that you're telling me that he's better than, he put out 5 singles this year. 3 of them were number 1 on the Billboard Top 100. You know how many Billboard Top 100 hits Kendrick had before this year? 1, and it came with the guy that he was eviscerating all year. Pay the man his due. Pay the man his due. He's earned it for this year at least. Now, when he go back in the cave for the next 5 years, then y'all can talk about him, and he'll come outside and stomp all over your dreams again. But right now, this is his year. This is year. I don't know how we could argue any different.
Agreed. And I definitely agree on the there is only one best. There's not, I can't stand that whole, I'm with you on the competitiveness, because as a basketball coach, AAU basketball coach, you guys know I've talked about that. It's very competitive. Yeah. Because just quick example, if I may, we were beating a team 70, I don't know, 70 something to their like 20 something. And I still had my press on, because at that point it was practice. And their coach was upset with me, like, oh, you know why? Because at this point we're practicing. This is not, it's not like I'm not, and I'm not trying to get, you know, like we're not trying to run the score up to embarrass anybody, but it's probably, this is AAU basketball. What do you want me to do? Pull my kids back because your kids can't get past the press? That's not my problem. That's you and your team's problem. That sounds like a practice issue to me. So no. My kids are going to stay on that ass, and your kids can figure out how to get past that. And that's a coach thing too. Call the timeout, brother. Figure some shit out. Draw up a play.
You gonna look over at me on the opposing sideline like I'm doing something wrong.
Right. So yeah, no, I completely agree on the competitiveness. Completely.
And that's the tough love that got Grady Dick to the NBA.
I didn't coach Grady. I just know him. I didn't coach him. Played against Grady. I coached against Grady.
Okay.
It's everywhere. It's bled into the NBA. I'm listening to pressers and Lakers Media Day, and the supposed best player in the NBA for the last 10 years is telling me that he has nothing left to prove in the NBA. It's all just extra credit. You can get your extra credit from home. Go get your extra credit in the broadcasting booth, at the broadcasting table. I don't want you suiting up with the team that I have rooted for since I was a child. If nothing else matters, if winning doesn't matter to you, if you are not obsessed with winning the game every time you go out. Because the guy at the end of the bench, I bet Dalton Ketch is obsessed with maximizing every minute of every second that he's on the floor. So does D'Angelo Russell or anybody else that's fighting for a spot on that roster. But here you go, the leader. So yeah, my son's here now. I won some championships. It's all gravy from here, baby.
He didn't say it like that.
He said it's all extra credit from here.
He might as well had said it like that.
It's all extra credit from here. He clarified. He said, are you asking me if I have anything else to prove as a player? No,
okay.
No,
that's great. No, that's awesome though. That's awesome that he's no longer beholden to the expectations of somebody or needing to fulfill a desire.
Forget other people's expectations. What about your own expectations of yourself? So you're done. So 4 championships is enough for you.
But you're jumping. If you ask him himself, why are you playing the game? He'll probably say, yeah, because I still got more in it for me. He just probably means that I have nothing to prove to the media.
Okay. I mean,
why would he
that's very convenient because he's never, the only time that he leaned into that win or die type attitude was 2016 when he won the championship for Cleveland. Right? No, for Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Right?
Yeah.
The 21 in Miami, that was college.
Barb and a fake NBA fan. God, yeah. Cleveland, this is for you. Remember?
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm definitely on the court, not a LeBron fan.
Yeah, well,
off the court, I am. On the court, that is my rival. That is no. I could never be a LeBron fan on the court. I couldn't.
The 2 in Miami, that was college. He was serious about the one in Cleveland. He needed to get that one. The one for LA, man, I as much as I appreciate it, it feels like a fever dream. It feels like it never happened. Like it was the one bright spot in this regime, and every other year after that is either been a step back or a disaster. You know, conference finals, conference semis, missing the playoffs a couple times. This is not what I signed up for. And at the end of it, you're like, "Yep, job well done. I'm getting ready to hang it up."
He got the NBA Cup, the in-season tournament versus the Indiana Pacers.
Don't talk to me about ad-driven tournaments in the middle of the season that don't mean shit. Don't care about the in-season tournament. Hang a Larry OB.
It'll never mean anything.
No, chill. It will never mean anything.
So what do they got to do to spice it up?
If the mid-season tournament is still in Constitution in this form, half a decade from now, like just 5 years, if it's here for 5 years, then I will eat crow. I'll eat crow. It's inconsequential. The team that won the in-season tournament what did they do in the playoffs? What did they do?
First round exit.
First round exit. What is it? What kind of
maybe
predictor is the in-season tournament for how you're going to be for the rest of the season based on that?
So then why do you value that but not the in-season tournament? Like, why we value the 3-point competition and we value the dunk contest, and there's other competitions.
Those are individual competitions. Those are individuals competing against each other in basketball. That you could do that at any point in time. A tournament to determine league strength in the middle of the season makes no sense. It's literally viewership driving. NBA ratings are down. They need a reason for people to pay attention in the middle of the year when football's still on. That's it. Period. Like there's no other reason for the in-season tournament being a thing other than the fact that they run right into the tail end of the football season, and we'll be in baseball playoffs here in a second.
Okay,
and they need something to get it going.
So what if they had preliminary dunk competitions where they had everyone from the East, 15 candidates from the West, and you'll compete in a dunk contest. The 2 winners from each side get to go
round
qualifiers
for the All-Star break. I like that. I like that much better than the in-season tournament. I like that much better because then at least it matters. It means something. Like they're competing for something.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna hang an in-season tournament banner? You might as well going back to telling everybody that you won your division too. I bet y'all forgot that there's divisions in basketball.
Have you seen I don't want to say our because I may let me say our. I'm there. Have you seen our roster? We suck yet again.
Are you talking about?
I knew that was going to happen. No. They actually have a pretty decent roster.
What are you talking
about? If Oklahoma City can repeat, and I'm not even an OKC fan, if Oklahoma City can repeat last year with this roster, they have a very, very real chance of bringing a championship to Oklahoma City. But I'm talking about Golden State.
You a Warriors fan? Yeah, I forgot Wardell.
Yeah. Wardell. Jesus, this is going to be a terrible draft. Oh my God. I don't even think we make we might make the playoffs. Maybe.
He's good enough to make the playoffs.
Okay, you're right. It's Wardell. We'll make the playoffs. But what rounds we're making, we're not going round for rounds with anybody.
Draymond is.
That's even. I'm not even getting on that. I want him gone. Like when they asked him the other day, the reporter asked him.
Where he's gonna run through Clay. That's what he said. No? Oh, sorry. I was trying to predict what you were gonna say. What were you gonna say?
No, did he say that? Was he? Oh, he's probably.
Yeah. They said, "How is it gonna be playing against Dallas?" Well, I'm gonna run right through his chest. Yeah.
I was talking about when they asked him.
No, let that go, brother. Let that go. You a LeBron James man. You're a LeBron James man now. You let that man drag a scrotum on the back of your neck, and now y'all best friends. I don't want to hear no more Mamba talk out of you. Okay, you're a LeBron James guy.
That's what it was. The reporter said, "What do you have to say about people thinking or worried about you, fans being worried about you?" He said, Why would people be worried about me? I'm a successful black man, and I'm so sick of that being like the thing. Like, why don't be worried about me because I'm a successful black man and like I have money. Like that, nigga, that doesn't mean people shouldn't be. People are definitely worried about you, Draymond. I don't care how much money. I've been worried about you since 2016. I've been worried about you for a long time. When you took that, it's Draymond's fault that Steph does not have 6 rings right now.
Bull. Yes. I'm not gonna let you put that on Draymond. Bullshit. That's Dre. The NBA. The NBA made sure that Steph didn't have 6. The NBA fouled out Steph Curry, right? Got Draymond suspended for game 6. Right?
His fault.
How?
His fault. Draymond? We're going back to 2016, right?
I don't defend him now, but if another grown man drags his business over my body intentionally, I'm going to react. I don't care. And then everybody talking about, oh, he took a nut shot. Bam! He's putting his jewels over my head like it's the sun or something.
That I agreed with. I'm talking about the mouthy text that he got that got him set out for that next game.
I can't excuse all of the
I'm talking about.
Other texts that he got during the playoffs. But that last one was some bullshit.
You're right. I agree on that one. That one was some bullshit. But that one where he got set out because all he had to do was just shut and he knew, like, bro, one more take and you're out the next. We needed him that game.
But what about Steph fouling out when he hadn't fouled out but one game in 82 of the prior?
And that was some bullshit too. That was some bullshit too.
Up 3-1, man, and all of this goofiness going on here. That sounds like some old David Stern trickery, and you know where your boy Adam Silver trained under.
Yeah. I'm ready for some good NBA to come back because 2016 was a great year in the NBA. You still had Tim Duncan, Manu, and Tony in San Antonio in 2016. Still killing shit in 2016. No, that was a good year in basketball. It's a fun year.
Hey guys, it's been about 32 minutes, and I don't think we've covered a single topic that we planned to cover.
Welcome to the Pantheon stream, where, as I said at the beginning, it goes off the rails sometimes. What's the first thing?
Well, first thing, we got to go to our live stream question that we put in, and they're asking, with 29 votes, how many comics have you read this year? 0, 10, 50, 100. I actually can't see it because I think you might be the one who can show us the. Well, I'll vote. So I'll vote 10 plus. All right, look at that. Majority of people, where was it? Majority of people said 10 plus, but there's so many people that also said 0. 45% of us said 0. What do we extrapolate?
That comic books are still a niche market, and that even at that they still might be down. So the amount of people that hit 10, those are obviously, and then the 6% that hit 100, those are our comic book people. But I would say even that, so how so many people only picking up 10 books this year, it's like a book a month. It's a book a month. It's like you're reading one book constantly. Yeah. Not to judge anyone. It's your prerogative. Whatever is, catching your interest, you should spend your money on what you like. But that can't be, spelling great things for comic books in general. I know my store, the store that I grew up on, closed down last year, and that was pretty tragic. But it's kind of going the way of the buffalo right now. I don't know really what else to do or what else could curb it. I think the people in charge of it would rather just see it die so that they don't have to deal with it. I don't see very much innovation or ideas to kind of pull it out of the doldrums. They seem to just kind of be letting people do what they want to do in various offices across the big two. The X-Men title is completely dragged at Marvel. None of the flagship, big Avengers guys are doing much right now. Tony Stark, not Chris Evans, Jesus Christ. Captain America, I don't think, is there a Hulk book right now?
Yes, there's always a Hulk book.
Is there a Hulk book? Okay. And Thor. Your Thor book right now? Okay. So they still got some of the mainstay titles. Obviously, Spider-Man Never Stops, and they got Ultimate Black Panther, which is going the Ultimate Universe with Hickman. That's doing its thing. But all in all, they're missing that driver, that heartbeat, or at least Marvel is. I don't pay too much attention to DC Comics all like that, but with Marvel, it feels like they're missing out on that heartbeat. Back in 2018-19, it was House and Powers. Before that, it was the stuff that was going on with Carnage and Donny Cates and that storyline. Maybe somebody picks up the baton here soon and invigorates the comic book world. It always seems to happen every so often when we think it's on its deathbed. Somebody comes back and gives it that 200 cc clear.
Mark Miller, the guy who did the Kick-Ass franchise, and he also wrote Civil War. So that guy's going to be back in. I think it's a bidding war between DC and Marvel. And I think he chose Marvel for the next 13 weeks. He's free, and he's like, "Who wants me?" And so he's going to do a series. He said it's going to be bigger than Civil War was, and it'll be like one of those crossover things, which is awesome. He wouldn't go back to Marvel for any other reason.
I hope, man. I mean, I'm definitely excited to hear that they're cognizant of the fact that there's a lull, but then that usually leads to results. But also, how do you sustain it, right? Like, because I mean, we've had these periods where comic books seem to be a little bit more popular than what they have been traditionally, or at least in recent memory, and it just never sustains. So if you do catch this momentum again, maybe off the Storm book that just released here recently, or you know, with
why
Mark Miller,
would that book be the one to
I don't know. Chill, have faith. I'm just saying, if anything sparks it, I haven't even read it. I don't know what's going on in it.
No, I don't think there's a single thing that could happen on a page that will generate interest. Like, oh, did you hear this? And then a new comic book reader. I don't read comics. That's in the comic. Let me go read it. What?
Weren't you telling everybody to go pre-order this book? I'm not knowing how you dogging it.
Well, I'm talking to existing customers like this shitty YouTuber Blue, who says comics don't sell anymore. They aren't as visible as they used to be. And he says to bring back spinner racks. I'm talking to these guys, but to the general, casual kind of everyone who knows these heroes, because you said, let me not butcher your words, but I'll say that the comic book characters have never been more famous than right now. They're the most popular, but for some reason, it's not translating into customer going into shop and buying the book. Everyone knows Spider-Man and lesser known heroes even more so, but it's just not in a meaningful way because people's comic shops are closing down like yours last year.
Yeah.
Yep. Without the new influx and with old people dying, old customers dying off, like what are we doing? The median age for the comic book customer goes higher and higher each year. We're at the end. It's physical media also, which is hard.
That's what I was going to say. Physical media is part of it as well, and it takes a strong marketing push to sell physical media nowadays, and their marketing driver, which is the films, has not been strong, and so that's where you would expect to see the physical property sales to diminish when the marketing is not at its highest of values. So, I mean, do I think that they'll ever completely do away with them? No, because I've slowly come to realize that Disney as a company only acquires to block other creators out or block other budding stories or competitors away. Yeah. They do not obtain these properties to innovate or create on top of. They don't want to do that. They want to live on the success of what they acquired. So I wouldn't expect them to have anything too inventive coming out of it, but I don't think that they'll ever completely do away with it because they will continuously pull from this well to signal to fans of the IPs that, you know, we're doing right by the comics.
But to be clear, the marketing is we'll do a popular movie and the residual effects will be maybe they go to the shop. We've never seen commercials go to the comic book shop. We rarely see someone on the couch on one of those late night shows who are advertising a comic book. It's rare.
Well, there was a time when comics didn't only just sell in comic book stores too, and if they were a more commercially marketable product, maybe you do get them back on spinner racks. Maybe you do get them back in drugstores and convenience stores and stuff like that, where they're more accessible to more commercial type of consumers. But when you're telling them, hey, you got to go to the nerd spot to go pick this stuff up, and you never go do it anyways, like you've never walked in a comic book store as it is, how do you ever expect to get that fan? Like
Free
Disney
comic
should
book
be
day.
selling comic books at the parks. They should be selling them at Disney stores around the country. They should be mail ordering them to people. They should be doing whatever they can to get this stuff into people's houses, but instead they're letting it die because
they should be doing it how they used to do back in the day. Those damn Discovery Channel animal books. Remember how they used to send those? They used to have those books that they would send out for Discovery Channel. It was like a different animal every.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The zoo books.
Yeah. We used to get those at school, but book fairs. The book fairs at schools that they do, elementaries all the time. They should be.
Yeah, how is Disney not involved in a scholastic book fair? But Disney sells books.
Right.
Disney sells books. They will sell you princess books. They'll sell you books about Frozen. They'll sell you books about Buzz Lightyear. Why are you not selling comic books to kids?
I think Moon Girl is part of that.
Yes. But again, not a comic. Like my son has a school fair every year. They're not selling comics there. They're selling paperbacks or hard copy Disney made books. Now, that is infinitely more expensive to make because there's more material in that, and it sells infinitely less. Why are you wasting time making that shit? Sell these kids comic books
of Spider-Man, of Captain America, so that when they're older, they still have Captain America and Spider-Man to get in a different floppy form.
Why are you dealing with 1950s cardboard back books that these kids are going to throw in their corner as soon as they get them home, instead of trying to capture their eye the same way you're trying to capture their father's eye, their uncle, their older brother?
Yeah,
Spoiler Kings kids are reading. I'm sorry. Do we like realistically?
Yeah,
because this is something I noticed just here. I don't know about everywhere else. Growing up for me, we were always outside doing something. These kids are now not outside and they're not inside. Like my nephew, for example, he's not outside. He's damn sure not inside reading. When he is inside, he's on his PS4, Fortnite, or iPad or something like that. So it's like,
I don't think the problems are as daunting as we think they are, though. Like that's a convenience thing, and that is which vehicle are you going to choose to deliver your product, right? That's just being strategic and efficient.
That too.
If you know the kids are on the consoles all day, if they're on their tablets all day, then create a reader app and put it on their damn tablets.
Right.
Then make it accessible on PlayStation Network or Xbox Live.
It's true.
This is not that complicated. It's not.
It's very true.
It's market placement. It's.
So you win a Fortnite game, and now you get to read a comic book. Whoa!
Now you get a digital copy of a comic book or something like that. You get it with the Fortnite skin. It comes with when you get the Black Panther skin, you get the copy of
hire this man. Yeah,
it's simple. This is simple, and they're already doing all of this anyways. It's just ineffectual. The way that they're doing it is ineffectual.
I can't. So he says, I read and buy comics. I think I was looking at one of you guys. I don't think people want to read either. Physical media is dying, but so are libraries. Yeah, kind of. But these are valuable commodities, okay? What we have in our hands are special, and it's different. I think the push for comics is so low because the movies about comic book characters never bring the audience back to comic books for further character representation or mainly expansion of the plot. So then, Free Comic Book Day is a promotional event. They print a comic book for free and they send it to the shop anyways. Why not make that Free Comic Book Day? Not 616, not DC Earth Prime. Why don't you make it the same universe that the movie is using?
The MCU Comic Book Day?
The MCU annual coming this May on Free Comic Book Day. And you will actually get new people who are fans of the characters who haven't read a comic, but they will flock to the shops on that Saturday, first Saturday of May. That is Free Comic Book Day, if you didn't know, and make an MCU annual every year. And it will be, hey, after the post-credit scene in Deadpool and Wolverine, you want to see what happened? You can go see here, or before the new movie coming out. So we're all waiting for Falcon Winter Soldier, okay? Or no, I'm wrong. Fantastic Four is the one movie in July. So, and unless it gets moved, but we're in May. Fantastic Four, everyone's jizzed up, and they go, ooh, on Free Comic Book Day, it will show you a scene from the movie at the beginning of the movie, and it'll add context, and you can dump some exposition there too, and you can say go to Free Comic Book Day and get it, and you read the comic,
scan
right?
the code and get the footage.
Yeah, and then you go to the movie and you're like, oh, the movie actually starts where the comic just ended off. I understand. This is nice. You may have just made a fan.
Yeah.
Darius, where do you vote here on this poll when it was 0, 10, 5, 50, 100?
I've not read it. I haven't read any comics. I stopped reading. All New, All Different.
Oh, yeah.
2014, 15?
A while ago. No, because I did read Jonathan Hickman's. No, but that was after. Yes, no, that was before. So yeah, it was All New, All Different. Was when I. Yeah,
you feel represented by Miles Morales and.
I didn't like I didn't like any of the shit they were doing. I just like the change. I didn't like. Yeah, I just wasn't feeling it. I liked Miles Morales stuff a little bit, but I really wasn't feeling the all new, all different Marvel. So I just was like, nah.
What about
I'll
DC?
check out.
Were you reading any DC?
No.
So you've been.
I read key DC things, but like, was I like on a binge of series, like just reading through? No, like key events in DC comics I've read.
What would it take to get you to read a comic one more time?
I've debated reading the Blood Hunt. It seems interesting. And the new what's this new Black Panther one that's kind of going on right now?
Ultimate Black Panther.
Yeah, I've thought about it.
Is there a particular creator that you follow that if he was writing a major book, you would come back for it?
Nicki.
In particular, I like when Coates writes for Black Panther.
Listen to me real quick, y'all. If you ever criticize Ta-Nehisi Coates for the 3 years that he was writing Black Panther, right, for 2 runs, he had Black Panther and he had Captain America. He was bouncing back and forth for a minute. If you criticize that man in his run, you owe him an apology. You owe him an apology.
Okay, why?
Yeah.
It was slow.
It was slow. Are you out of your mind? The man had an ongoing Black Panther book for 3 years that tied into another book and ended with him not just a king, with an intergalactic emperor. Okay, I don't care. And he had his woman on his hand. It wasn't no nastiness going on. Oh, I need to steal the sword for Krakoa bullshit going on.
Yeah,
right. Everything was lined up exactly the way that you complain about the way that it's not lined up now. Everything was exactly in the place that you wanted it. We wasn't doing this whole, Wakanda's democratic horse shit.
Yeah.
There was no, sure, he's the new Black Panther. There was no, well, there was a little bit of civil war, but it was with a part of Wakanda that was from millions of light years away. Okay. Y'all owe Ta-Nehisi Coates an apology.
Yeah, that other guy said, "Oh, you thought you knew bad Black Panther comic books?
Oh, this. I'll show you bad Black Panther comics." And at least in the comics, he hasn't really recovered since that. So y'all owe Ta-Nehisi Coates an apology. I would take slow over incompetent any day.
I agree with what Raymond said too. Hickman as well. I do like Hickman's what Hickman does, but Coates for me, because of the what he did with Black Panther, my thought was that would get me back if he was to come back and do something Black Panther for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, man. We owe that man an apology. We didn't realize just how bad it can get.
Yeah.
Like we were honestly nitpicking. We were nitpicking. Oh, the pace. It's too much exposition. He's a novelist, so like, he's not really good with comic book jargon. Yo, owe the man an apology.
Nobody swore at the king. He stayed the king. Yeah, there's a lot of good things we can say. Because he wrote a Black Panther comic book featuring the Black Panther. A lot of people can't say that.
Mm-hmm. Who did House of M? I think that was Bendis, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Brian Michael Bendis.
The next topic. Joker 2 reviews are in. Dare Bear, want to take it away?
Womp, womp, womp. Bro, okay. This is why Q texted me last week and he said, are we going to see Joker? And he was like, where are you going to go with me to see Joker at the premiere? Are you really fucking, I'm not going to fuck with it. And I said, we'll go. That was last week. I'm not going.
No, you gotta go. You have to go. Go.
Okay. And then you know what, you're right about it, because I should come give something about it on the channel and say something. So I'll for that aspect of it, I will go. But the reviews are in on, and I'm not even talking about Rotten Tomatoes. I haven't been on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm talking about just people on Twitter alone.
Oh, the Cine score
is low. See it. Oh
the
yeah,
Cine score is really low.
It's awful. And the reason being is because it never should have been a 2. That it was only originally supposed to be the 1. They made it into this big spectacle of money because the first one did that $1 billion, and Todd Phillips was like, I'm not going to do another one. Joaquin Phoenix was like, oh, it's a one and done. Then they had with that, let's make another maybe $2 billion. And they were like, oh, well, yeah, let's maybe try that. This is awful. But we all knew it was going to be awful not when Lady Gaga was added, because I heard people saying like, oh, with the Minute Lady, I disagree with that. I disagreed with that just because I've seen her act in other things outside of, what in this. So I thought she, would have done fine.
When she's playing a performer, she does good. When she's not playing a performer, like her American Horror Story performance is very new actor breaking into acting.
I'll agree with you there, and the reason I forgot about that, because I did not like that season of American Horror Story. I didn't even finish that season of American Horror Story, but I forget about that. But yeah, that is true too. I guess what I always think of, like you said, when she is being a performer, I guess that's what I'm thinking of, because I'm thinking of her, like some of her live performances are like, one that comes to mind for me is 2009's Paparazzi VMA performance. If you have not seen that got overshadowed from what else happened during that VMA evening. But
they have the best video all time.
You think that it's funny when people do kind of let you finish, because a lot of people have been interrupting people with that. You still think it's funny, Marcus?
Yes. Yeah. I think it's hilarious.
I also think it's funny.
Well, wait. You mean the situation or the meme?
No, the meme of cutting people off to say, "I'm gonna let you finish."
No. That's hilarious.
Darius?
Yeah. I thought it was funny that night, but I was also a freshman in high school, so
it was another one of them hell yeah Kanye moments. He was just a different person back then. Let's move on.
Yeah, definitely was. But that anyway, that is what I think of a lot when I think of her performances and things like that. But when they said there were 15 plus songs in it and it was turning into a musical, my question is going to remain the same when it comes to, and even when I go see it, even though I know it's going to be, it's not going to be what I'm thinking or anything like that. When you have the Joker, what is he poisoning Gotham's water? Has he kidnapped the mayor? Does he have some overall plan to, I don't know, like I'm gonna blow up an orphanage, or Batman's got 5 minutes to get here, or Gotham PD's got, and I'm not, what is everything I'm seeing is him dancing, is him getting drugged through the streets, or running from somebody, or hitting a judge over the head with a hammer. So I'm just like, what is the motive? Why is what are you doing with the Clown Prince? Like what? So if there's no motive, there's nothing in it, why the fuck do I want to watch this? Like, why do, and not I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna go see it, but it's like, and then the leaks, the things that have come out, I'm not discussing them, but the things that have come out, if it ends that way, well,
yeah, there's the ending, there's the whole musical aspect of it. I think that number one, the decision to add Lady Gaga to the roster before they had a concept tells me that her addition probably drove some of the decisions that made it different from the first one. If I'm guesstimating right now, I haven't even seen the film, but just kind of based off of the early reaction and what we know about how she was brought on before before they finished writing the film. Like there was talks about Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn before they had even officially started shooting or announced that they were going to do Joker 2. So I think that the chicken probably came before the egg on that one, but you could still execute it to a certain degree if you don't overdo it. Sounds like they might have overdone it. And what makes me worry about the kind of future with DC right now is this is very practical. It's supposed to be very grounded. It's supposed to be very real world. Well, that's what Reeves is loading up over there. That's what your boy's loading up. You know, that's what, other titles that we're supposed to be watching, the Amanda Waller show. Go ahead.
Yeah, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, Green Lanterns.
Well, that's not grounded at all. It's a man who flies around with a ring on his hand and creates.
They said it's gonna. They said it's going to be grounded because they'll be like in Middle America for the majority of it. They advertise it as
how
they will be grounded.
Is it going to be grounded? There's a man who can fly and create things with his mind from a ring on his hand.
He could lose his ring, and that could be like, hey, we got to find our missing ring. And most of
and if they do that shit,
he loses his fucking ring. I'm boycotting it. I won't watch it.
It's going to go the way of Joker 2. You play that horse shit with us, then we're going to play that horse shit with you.
There's ways you can
do games. You'll get a goofy prize.
Guys, it's a TV show. They could say, "Hey, you can't rely on your ring for everything. You got to
No, fuck that shit. He better have the ring.
Yeah. Fuck your TV show.
All right, I didn't know this was gonna.
F your TV show. If that's what you got for me with John.
No, he better have the ring.
I gotta be. My humanity is my superpower. I can't use my ring. I gotta be a good human. Okay. Fuck you and that content.
Iron Man in Homecoming, he told Peter, if you can't wear the suit, or he's, there was a line like that. If you're not good enough to wear a suit, something like that. So
did he run around without a suit in Homecoming?
Did he run around without the suit?
Did he fight without his suit?
That's when he took the suit from him. He took the Iron Spider suit.
Right.
But even if he takes,
we saw him with the suit on, right?
That happened. For
but
the whole
even
movie,
okay, but we're pretending, but we're having a conversation as if the suit makes Spider-Man Spider-Man. He has his powers with or without the suit. Without that ring, John Stewart is John Stewart.
Is Air Force pilot.
Is a hero because Bruce Wayne is a hero too without the powers.
No, but you have to take away Bruce's intellect and his martial arts. Those are the things that stand out. Those are the talents that Bruce Wayne has.
Right. Sorry to sidetrack you. We were naming grounded, a list of grounded shows.
Like I said, he better have that goddamn ring. So
if Joker is struggling this way as the grounded version of Joker, well, how are all these other grounded versions of these very larger than life characters going to work out? That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Okay. Matt Reeves, you mentioned, and I want to sidetrack. He and James Gunn are still partners. They're going to be working on a Robins TV show. And that's awesome, knowing that he's part of the roster. Now everyone's saying, you're putting the DC logo, DC Studios. He's distributing Matt Reeves' movie. He still has a working relationship with Matt Reeves' movie. Only people who have a problem with DC's logo, Studios logo, showing up on things James Gunn didn't create is whiny babies on the internet. Him and Matt Reeves are good. And I'm happy that there's a guy who loves DC, who's part of the, we have Bryce Dallas Howard in Star Wars, Rick Famuyiwa, and Peter Ramsey. It's nice to have, I was going to say Carl Weathers, and I can't anymore, but it's nice to have a collection of like repeat or a camp. It's good. They have got people on their roster, and Matt Reeves is one of them.
Yeah. All I mean, I hope it goes well. I mean, it's just I think that the idea that comic book characters have to be grounded is a misnomer. That you have to put them into reality for people to connect to them, I think is a fallacy that literally came out of the last 10 years of filmmaking. It's literally never been a thing. We've never had to see Qui-Gon Jinn or Obi-Wan Kenobi driving next to us on our commute to work to connect to them. It just doesn't. That's not what writing is. It's not how you write a character.
Well,
but
he may not get his way on that any longer.
On what?
I was going to ask you guys your opinion on this. Before I ask your opinion on that, let me just read this really quick. This is one person on Twitter said, might be the worst movie of 2024. That ending completely ruins the first movie. If you're a fan of the first movie, do not watch Joker 2, 3 out of 10 movie.
This is somebody in the comments?
No, that is somebody on Twitter.
Oh, that's a review. Oh, okay. Jesus Christ.
A review of somebody from Twitter. There was another one I saw, but for whatever reason, I can't find it. But I did want to ask what you guys thought on the rumor right now from Jeff Snyder that Matt Reeves' Batman is going to be the Batman in the DCU.
Oh,
then we definitely got to let go of this whole. We're going to make all the villains normal. Like the Riddler's just going to be like this incel nerd guy, and Dr. Freeze is just going to be a guy who plays with technology and freezes stuff. No. If he's main MCU Batman or MCU DCU Batman, then you got to let some of that go. You have to, because I don't want to see every DC villain be a regular person with some other quirk. I just don't. That's not what I'm looking for. I've enjoyed the Penguin. I think the Penguin is actually damn good. That shouldn't be the standard. That should be a standout and not the standard.
Right. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't watched it yet. I think if they are intelligent and if they have, if they want this thing if they really want to compete with MCU, you make, first of all, I thought this should have been done in the first place. You make Pattinson's Batman a part of the DCU. It never made sense to me to have Matt Reeves have his, and the reason it didn't make sense to me is because you literally, that was the literal reason you told fans you're not doing the Snyderverse. You literally said we're getting rid of Henry Cavill. We're getting rid of everything that you just saw with the new hierarchy, with The Rock and everything else, because we don't want two separate universes. With Matt Reeves, that is two separate fucking, I don't care if it's an Elseworld under your Elseworld umbrella. We are literally watching several movies take place in a separate universe with Batman, while simultaneously you want me to watch The Brave and the Bold and have that Batman.
I think they also have a problem with tone, though, right? Like Matt Reeves' Batman does not fit James Gunn's DC world.
That is an issue. I completely agree.
Each movie can be in the same world, both wrong. And different movies will have different tones. Different franchises feel different.
So you can see Pattinson popping up and interacting with Peacemaker.
I can see it. Yes, it's possible. And that's the interesting thing. How will these two meet? It's like wrestling. How will these two guys?
I legitimately don't see how those characters come into contact. And how is the interaction going to go?
Interestingly,
this man, Pattinson, Robert Pattinson, either as Batman, which is probably unlikely, or as Bruce Wayne, never broke this face right here. This was this man's face when he walked into church, when he walked into the boardroom building, when he walked into a gala, when he was pumping gas, when he laid his head down to go to sleep. So you're telling me why John Cena is over there making dick jokes or whatever he's going to be doing as Peacemaker. Matt Reeves' Batman is going to be back there doing what? Grimacing, and it's all going to flow. It's going to make sense.
To be fair, in any iteration that I've seen, when Batman interacts with the League, I've never known him to laugh or chuckle or even take now as Bruce Wayne, he might, strike a smile as he's waving to cameras or whatever, or shaking hands with people. But as Bruce, as the Dark Knight, I'm really hard pressed trying. There's the Killing Joke. The Joker made him laugh, but that is the one of the only times I can really recall.
That's not really my point. It's not my point. I'm trying to say what the character that they have set up does not emote. He doesn't change. He's not expressive. The world that Peacemaker is in is very exuberant.
What you're saying.
It's nothing but expressive.
All right. So what happens when Peacemaker knocks on the door to Batman? Hey, Bats, it's me, I'm Peacemaker, and he does his stick. Batman looks right at him. He goes, "Your form of expression is due to childhood trauma, and you are using a creative outlet of humor to mask your insecurity." I don't know. He'll say some smart shit, Batman-y like that, and we go, "Oh, that is what would happen if the two characters met."
I think for a 2-minute cameo interaction that works just fine.
Yeah, how long are they gonna
if these worlds are ever to collide in any meaningful way, there's going to have to be an adjustment on somebody's end. Reeves's characters are going to have to get inherently less dark. Gunn's characters are going to have to stop joking so damn much. They're going to have to be in the middle at some point. Yeah.
What crossover has Batman characters, dealing with the League and some of those worldly?
Not a lot so far, but I'm saying if he is going to be the main universe Batman, then that will increase. That will be a
and the jury is still out on that jokey DC universe as well. Now we've seen Peacemaker because we need to see Superman. We need to see what happened. I don't give a fuck about Creature Commandos. We need to see what's going on in Superman first. Creature Commandos be damned. Whatever happens in Superman, that is going to be to me the tone of what his DC universe is going, because it's already established in Superman from what we know. This is not an origin story. These heroes have been heroes for decades, so it's going to be established there, I think, too. So I hope it's not a lot of jokey jokes and things like that. But as you like, Mark said, we do know Gunn. And I feel a lot of people saying, I've seen this conversation on Twitter. Well, I heard you guys saying the same things with the Guardians, but look, it worked with the Guardians. Okay, you can't keep that's some people got to stop doing that. You can't compare the Guardians group, that group of misfits, to Kal-El.
Nobody knew them anyway. Yeah, nobody was familiar with Star-Lord and Gamora and Groot.
Yeah, at all.
Rocket Raccoon. Nobody was familiar with those characters. Everyone knows who Kal-El is. Everyone knows who Clark Kent is.
And his Martha and Smallville. Everyone knows everything.
Right. So I'm just like, no, I get what you're saying too, though, and I to go back to what you said on that. Somebody's going to have to bend. It would be Reeves. Reeves would have to bend. Gunn's not going to bend on the president of the studio. Honestly, if I wanted to, I could just tell you, hey, this is what we're doing with Robert Pattinson in your universe. Now, does that make a disgruntled Matt Reeves? Probably.
Yeah, and then it also puts the lion's share of the blame on him. If you're going to come in and overhaul it, and it's clear to the audience that your influence was had, okay, well now the results of it is at your feet. I think most people would then blame James Gunn if it didn't perform well. So it is a double-edged sword. It's not a easy answer on how to do this. I wasn't mad at the idea that they were going to let Reeves play in his own play box. And then bring in a new Batman if it was with the understanding that, okay, you get these next two films and then you're done. And then we're moving forward with our Batman. Now, if it was going to be a continuous thing, then you're going against what you said you were going to do, which is bringing all the content under one brand, one umbrella. So,
yeah.
You'll like Creature Commandos more than Joker's too, because
I'm sure I will, but I'm just saying, like, when it comes to like the started, that's not my. Because James Gunn always makes an effort to make that clear. Oh, the Creature Commando starts our universe.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Blue Beetle counts, and we're
Amanda Waller. And
season 1 is gonna be kind of canon, but not canon. But we'll use John Cena's Peacemaker, and he'll be good, guys. Creature Commando's where it starts.
And that Robin deal, that's not canon at all to anything. The animated Robins deal.
Oh, you're talking about the movie? Yeah, I seen that.
That him and Matt Reeves are working on together.
Isn't that it's like a Japanese joint, right? It's like a Batman anime kind of thing going on.
What did he say exactly?
Red Hood, Tim Drake, Dick Grayson. It's the animated thing, right? When I seen it, they were talking.
It's the animated. It's the animated deal. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. So yeah, him and Matt Reeves are working on that together. That's not its own thing.
Canon. I was hoping it'd be canon.
It's not canon. I thought it was canon too. It's not canon.
Where's this video game that he said? Remember, he said it was going to be attached. Even video games are going to be canon. The DCU. There's no game yet.
There's no game.
Fingers crossed for Static.
James has the big thing. Jurassic World comes out when? No. What Jurassic comes out? What's a big movie that comes out in December?
This year?
Yes, this year. Or it might be. I heard there's a movie. I can't remember what movie it is, and I could be wrong on this. Mufasa. I heard a Superman trailer is supposed to be attached to Mufasa. We're supposed to be seeing a Superman, and if that's whatever that first trailer is, it's just the first trailer. It's just going to be a sneak peek. It's not going to be like a full, trailer or whatever. But he really has to kind of get people talking till that next full trailer.
John Williams score?
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah.
Take it. Yeah, sure. Disney sure as hell ain't using them.
Yeah. So I'm excited for it. That's a big summer for 2025.
They're doing the documentary on John Williams, his scores throughout the year. Jaws and Indiana Jones and all those Star Wars. He's coming back and Disney is doing it. I know Kathleen Kennedy is seething. He's like, where's my documentary as the first female executive of Lucasfilm?
Yeah, that's her. There's the Joker 2.
And then Marcus right behind us. She's saying, you know what? I'm going to stay another 12 years.
Yeah, no. Please, God, no.
Back to Joker 2. Just want to close this out. It's been tracking to open within the range of The Flash and Captain Marvel.
See, this is what I was talking about, right? So now the next movie after this is what? What's the next movie after this?
Superman.
DC film?
DC is Superman, right?
Yeah.
How Darius, what you just said times 1,000. Because if this movie does Flash numbers, now we're starting to look at Warner Brothers as a brand again. Like, hey, yo, what the hell's going on over there? Every time they have one of those stinkers, it becomes more than just the individual studio. Now it's the company. Like, what are we doing here? So again, the pressure mounting on the first Superman film, which is never really supposed to be the biggest film or the most impressive revenue wise, right? In a trilogy for a superhero. But now they're in a position where that film has to kill. It has to kill. Because if it's anywhere where it could even be argued that it was a disappointment, how do you get butts back in the seat for Brave and the Bold? How do you get butts back in the seat for any of the following movies after Superman? Like, that's just not. I wouldn't want to.
And if it keeps the same release date, you are competing with the Fantastic Four and
Jurassic World
14. Yep. So so it's gonna be. And Jurassic Park, regardless, that last one was shit. It still made what, over $1 billion?
It made $1 billion.
It's the dinosaur. I love dinosaurs too, so I'm gonna go see this one. I'm interested to see what Garrett Edwards is gonna do with this, and the cast is interesting as well. So, I'm going to check this out. But you're going to have Superman, Fantastic Four, Jurassic World. It's gonna be.
Hey, to the idiots in live chat right now, shared universe is the future. We're never going back to the single universe stuff. I don't want it. Nope. Even the Penguin is shared universe.
I don't want it either. I don't want it either.
Care to complete
3 featuring Null, all the characters, several Marvel. Yeah, that was my fear with them doing Null. But It may not be the end of him in Venom 3. If they were smart, it wouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be. Heavy CGI on him. Andy Serkis is playing him.
Andy Serkis is playing Null? Ooh.
Yes. Yes.
Ooh, I like that. Gollum is Null? Ooh.
Gollum is Null.
Like that. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, but who better to get? I saw somebody say, is there no one else in Hollywood? Who better to get to do motion capture? If Andy Serkis is there, you use fucking Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis to do your motion capture.
Yeah, it's like, what? If he's there, you use him. So no, I was actually kind of happy when I saw it wasn't Norman Reedus, because I was just thinking Norman Reedus is Null.
Norman Reedus. Norman Reedus.
Walking Dead. Norman Reedus.
Goddamn Daryl?
Yes.
As Null?
As
Come on,
Null.
man. Stop playing with me. Not Daryl.
But Andy Serkis, he can do some creepy shit with it, you know, and the voice. I'm interested to hear what the voice he's going to use with it. Just his like everything, how he's going to move, everything. It'll be interesting.
Variety this week had their little take on toxic fans. This is the article. It's very incendiary in nature. It says, toxic fandom, how Hollywood is battling fans who are just out for blood, from social media boot camps to superfan focus groups. And you got to see all these controversial things. So there's the elves up top. What's this on the left? What show is this from?
Oh, the superfan.
I think is that Bridgerton?
Came from this article.
I don't know what that is.
I only watched season 1 of Bridgerton. I don't think these were characters, but maybe
I only watched season 1 of Bridgerton too.
It might be
because they got rid of
light skinned dude to the right. He's from that Lord of the Rings series on the Prime.
Yes.
Yeah.
The two chicks kissing in the middle. That's House of the Dragon.
That's House of the Dragon. Obviously,
Acolyte. I don't know. Oh, that's Starlight.
Starlight, Ms. Marvel. What is this show to the left?
Word.
My left, I guess that is.
I think that's gotta be Bridgerton. Right?
Maybe it is Bridgerton. What they say though? I'm sorry, go.
Toxic fandom doesn't make me think of Bridgerton or Starlight. I think about this, the Lord of the Rings with the elves, and I think of Captain Marvel, and I think of Acolyte. Amanda Stenberg, the lead of the Star Wars series, posted an 8.5-minute video of her Instagram stories about Lucasfilm's abrupt decision not to pick up the show for a second season just a month after season 1. It's not a huge shock for me, Stenberg said. Since the series was announced in 2020, she continued, we started experiencing a rampage of, I would say, hyper-conservative bigotry and vitriol, prejudice, hatred, and hateful language towards us. In other words, the Acolyte was the latest high-profile target of toxic fandom. Anyone want to interrupt before we keep reading?
I just stop it. In 2020, unless I was in different Star Wars groups that, and there are, I'm sorry, I'm not in the toxic Star Wars groups. Maybe there were people in 2020 that, after not knowing shit about the Acolyte, only going off the announcement and, that were sending her, hate mail. I didn't see that in 2020. In 2020, from the Star Wars fandom, I saw excitement. I saw not only excitement, but I saw excitement because we were getting away from the Skywalker saga. I saw something, excitement because this was something new. I saw excitement, some people were saying why are we going backwards? We wanted the old Republic, but hey, we'll see what this is about. And there was questions around it. Curiosity was around it more than anything. I didn't see the hate around because we didn't know shit around it to hate on it.
We didn't, the things that she's trying to protect in this speech she's giving, we didn't even know it existed in the show
at all. We didn't. We
first look at this show 2 years ago. We not even us, not the public, but 2 years ago at Star Wars Celebration, they showed some footage of it.
I remember the way that it was announced, or it was told to Variety, whoever it was. They said there will be a female-focused TV show starring a lead female. That was how it was advertised. We didn't even know the name of it.
Yeah, all right. Go ahead, finish.
That was the way it was distributed. And as soon as that came out, it was, oh boy, here comes the female stuff. And it was from the usual suspects. I don't want to empower them that much that they had this much pull. Your show was bad. And you happened to, I'm getting into it, but I don't want to get into it.
Bottom line, point blank, period. Yeah, that's really it. That's really it. There's no mental gymnastics to do around the Acolyte when it comes to that show and why it was canceled. The show was canceled because you had a shit story. You had Leslie Headland, who tried to come in and think that she knew or she wanted to impose her Star Wars fantasies onto what was already what we were told wasn't going to, the canon wasn't going to be touched, things like that. It's not even so much that canon was touched. I don't give a fuck about Kiadi Mundi being there. Like, is the canon breaking? Yes, it's canon breaking or whatever. What I care about is the overall, like, what you tried to set out to do. Like, you tried to create visceral within the community, and you tried to create these hateful conversations online. Like, bro, the Acolyte just was not it. Stop hiring people that don't give a fuck about the IP. And Leslie Headland can say, oh, I've been a Star Wars fan my entire life, and that's fine. You may have been. But you took a character that we have all been waiting to see in live action for I don't know how fucking long. I remember hearing, like, for the first time I heard Plagueis, like, in live action, outside of a book. Yeah, I was in the 5th grade. What? 5th grade. We've been I've been here for a while, long time as a fan. So you took a character we've been waiting to see for a very long time in live action, and you made him this
the creepy old man.
Yeah, this creepy old man, and then not on top of that, you took away the importance of Anakin and made it and put it on these twins. Like, the entire journey that we've been on forever, you're telling me Anakin's not even important?
Listen, man.
So that's why I say fuck you. That's why your show was canceled.
And let's not concentrate on that little portion of the fan base. They're the reason why. Or even like, she doesn't say the hateful people are the reason why. But in her announcement, hey, it's been canceled, if the next sentence you say has to deal with them, I can kind of infer, or you are inferring that the two are related because you said it back to back. But she never technically says we've been canceled because of the hate mongers. It says, in other words, Acolyte was the latest high-profile target of toxic fandom. The catch-all term for when fan criticism curdles from good faith dissatisfaction into a relentlessly negative, often bigoted online campaign against either the project or its stars or creative leaders.
That is literally an opinion. That's not a definition. That is your description of what you think toxic fandom is. It's not a definition. What did she say? Hold on, let me look at it. I don't want to misquote her like you say. Hold on, let me get in here. The catch-all term when fan criticism curdles from good faith dissatisfaction into relentlessly negative, often bigoted online campaign against either the project or its stars or creative leaders.
So this is the writer.
That should sound like it came out of Kathleen Kennedy's mouth. You know what I blame for first of all, who decides when it goes from being just criticism or good faith dissatisfaction to relentlessly negative online content? Like, who decides when it's just relentlessly negative or if it's good faith?
That is the mission of the Adam B. Very, the writer of this article.
So I blame the streaming model, and I'll tell you why. When we were watching television on network TV channels, right? There was, because you had so limited time and so limited opportunities to get in front of audiences, you served multiple groups at a time, right? That's why family sitcoms were so popular through the 90s and the early 2000s, because you found a way to serve different audiences at once, right? You had a teenager in there for young boys. You had a teenager in there for young girls. You had a toddler for the little ones in there to pay attention to and have little jokes. You had the adults, right? You had the young adults who were still trying to figure out life and dating and delving into that part of life. You had shows that brought in multiple demographics, multiple ethnicities, multiple different groups of people, because they were trying to catch as many people off of a single product as possible. Now that you have streaming comes along with libraries. Libraries are tailored, right? You are now creating content specifically for those groups. You are no longer serving teenage girls at the same time that you're serving fathers of teenage girls. You are specifically serving teenage girls. You are not talking to the LGBT community and also talking to black people and women all at the same time. No. This is the LGBT show. No. This is a black woman show. No. This is a black male show, which usually leads to, drugs and crime and whatever else. But that's not what we're talking about right now. What we're talking about is how they've completely flipped the model on their heads from going to, let's take this project and try to stretch it out as far as we can so that it covers as many boxes as we can, right? Because we have 7 of these time slots before we got to give it back up to the morning news. That's what it used to be. Now it's, this is all going on the streaming platform anyways. We need to fill it up with as much content for as much people as possible, which is making the individual projects not very good for the most amount of people. There's a very niche audience that it serves, and that sometimes, since you're directly talking to them, they're very passionate. And I think that's what happened with The Acolyte. That doesn't speak to the sheer value that you have coming into the show, though, or that you would even want to attract.
It's all streaming's fault.
I think it's streaming's fault. We're literally making TV shows for very small segments of the viewership so that they have something to choose in the library, so that there's something to algorithmically push towards them. Not going in and saying, hey, I want everybody in America to sit down in the show in some way, shape, or form and be connected to it. Those shows are not being made. The closest thing that we have to that today, reality TV.
So Leslie Headland wrote the script. Kathy Kennedy says, no, I want a Leslie Headland Star Wars. This was a great Star Wars script. Make it a Leslie Headland Star Wars script. It's her fault.
If she even had to do that, I think Leslie walked in with a Leslie Headland Star Wars. But yes,
no, I'm reporting that was said. That's how it went.
Oh, wow. You never know how quite right you are. I thought you were joking.
That's the way that it went down, according to Leslie telling the story. So in a franchise economy, increasingly dependent upon established audio. They got Marcus words here. Oh my God. Marcus, you read it.
Let me get back in here. Where are we at?
In a franchise
economy, increasingly dependent on established audiences, devotion to drive the bottom line. The threat of toxic fandoms poisoning that enthusiasm has become a seemingly intractable headache for almost every studio, and it's only getting worse. So he sets the premise here himself. Yeah. This is something that every studio is dealing with on a mass scale, and somehow it's the consumer's fault.
Yeah, guys, we got to do something about this. Studios, look out. It's all these nasty customers who pay.
Yeah, it's not the studios and the way that they're creating content and the way that they all copy each other. It can't be an industry trend. It's the consumer's fault.
Can you address something really quick in the comments? There was a point in the conversation when we were discussing The Acolyte, while discussing when we sidetracked from what the article was actually about. Chill started to say why he thought The Acolyte was canceled. Obviously, that's not what the article is about. The article is not about why The Acolyte was canceled. He went on a tangent and was about to start that. He stopped himself. I picked it back up and finished. Where we're having this disconnect of us having this conversation or going back and forth of us thinking that that's why us thinking that, or you guys thinking that the conversation we were having was over that article. It's not. We were talking about why The Acolyte is being canceled. Now, when it comes to Amandla and her comments, as I've said many, many times, been here as a Star Wars fan for a long time. There's a lot of toxic fans. Moses, Ahmet Best, Kelly Marie Tran. Where were you when Hayden Christensen was getting fucking bullied? I'm sure she was. I'm not questioning that. That's never been in question, especially with Moses Ingram being the most recent. That's never been in question. So I'm sure she has gone through shit. I'm sure people have been in her comments saying shit. That's not in question. What we were simply saying in that tangent was the show was shit. That has nothing to do with the article. We're aware of that.
Yeah, there were people that wished Amandla well that didn't like this show, and I think that's kind of
all of us
stand on that. Yeah. Let me get back here. It comes with the territory, but it's gotten incredibly loud in the last couple of years, says a veteran marketing executive at a major studio.
Oh, he can't even put his name on it. We don't
A
even know what
major
studio.
marketing executive. People are just out for blood regardless. They think the purity of the first version will never be replaced, and you've done something to upset the canon or beloved franchise, and you're going to take you down for doing so. Fam, if you didn't understand that when you bought these properties, like you're acting like it just got this way over the last couple of years. It was that way when you bought Marvel. It was that way when you bought Lucasfilm. It was that way when you bought Pixar. Little did you know, because look how healthy Pixar is these days. People want what they want. Those titles were only popular because people grew to love them. So when you bought them, they didn't expect you to turn them on their head and make it completely different.
And the times you didn't do it, we celebrated Mandalorian, didn't we? Don't we like new things? Inside Out, everyone seems to like that. Those are two new Pixar
gave
things.
You a pass on giving us the rehashed version of New Hope and Force Awakens. We accepted a lot. We were here for a lot. This sounds like a lot of excuse me. It sounds like a lot of belly aching.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a lot of belly aching.
Sam said Andor. Lots of people like Andor. I'm not one of them, but sure. Yeah. There are very fine Andor reviews and like think pieces and panels and live streams about Andor. It's not like it's tone deaf, and it doesn't recognize that you guys can make bad things. House of Dragon season 1, beloved.
Great.
Game of Thrones for 7 seasons, beloved. Then the ending was the ending. We the fandom, we're not being toxic. Not all of us are being toxic.
We're telling you what we like.
That's all. It's feedback.
It used to just be like, oh, that's what they want. Let's give it to them so we can sell more. Now it's like, no, I want to give you something. You're not taking it. So now I'm going to make you seem like you're the bad person for not taking what I want to give you instead of selling you what you want.
That's all. Crazy. That's all exactly what it was.
Sometimes toxic fandoms behave reactively. House of the Dragon episode featuring 2 female characters kissing, and no, I didn't see that. They're making this shit up now, fam. They're literally making this shit up. The kiss of Rhaenyra and her counselor. No one gave it. That was in the 3rd episode. We hadn't even gotten fed up with how slow the season was yet to even be talking about bullshit like that. This is them using the otherized crowds as a shield. Oh, we had gay characters in it, so of course we didn't like it. No, they didn't like it because you ended the season 2 weeks off from where you started it last season. That's why they didn't like it. They didn't like it because we ended off last season with a menacing look of Rhaenyra's face like we're getting ready to go into war. And then we spent 8 episodes trying not to go to war. And then she decides right there on episode 9, let's go to war. And did we see any war? Did we see any war?
The longer I read this, the more I know it is directed to those 5. No, not directed. Hold on. It's directed to Hollywood. That's why Variety is putting it out, right? Probably KK got on the phone and said, hey, Adam, make this a little thing about shows and toxic fandom. It'll make us look less bad.
100% how it happened.
That's what happened. And the people who are toxic are those handful of YouTubers, those 5-6 YouTubers who are always complaining. So even though Marcus didn't see anything online in regards to the toxicity, those guys had something to say about it. They made a snide little joke or two.
Yeah, I was gonna say there were people losing their shit over
the kiss.
Over the kiss.
I apologize. I just was not part of that discourse. I didn't see it. I didn't catch it. It was much more focused for what I was seeing.
Go. I'm sorry. I think who plays Rhaenyra? I think she addressed it. It got so to the extreme. George R. Martin, said something about it, but then he erased what he had said.
He does that.
It was his whole thing is it wasn't in the book, and where and blah 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 blah. For everyone else, it was the motivation behind why she did it. It was like a whole for some people this is what it was. Oh, you were with Damon. It's like a power move type of deal. And people were like, why would Rhaenyra do that to, that's not there were people that were,
but it's completely within her nature for her to do that, though. Like they've been establishing for 2 seasons that's kind of who Rhaenyra is. She was looking for a king, or excuse me, she was looking for a mate, a pair, someone to marry off to, and she was snogging Sir Christian Cole, right? And then when Sir Christian Cole wanted to run away with her, she said, "No, you're a duck off. Stay in your place." And then she went and got a husband. And then she cheated on her husband with another one of her knights and got pregnant by him. Right? And then her husband went away, and then she married her uncle. Like she's always kind of been, I won't call her, a gardening tool, but I will say that, she's experienced and she's not very afraid about going to get what she wants. So does it surprise you that in a moment of frustration, the only person on Dragonstone that's showing her a modicum of support in the immediate aftermath of losing Rhaenys, does it really surprise you that she took some comfort in somebody else, some soft skin? Man,
not for
and was
me.
even really that mad at that scene? Like those characters that you was talking about, were they actually really that mad at the scene? Like let's be honest here. Let's be honest. Were they really that mad at the scene?
I know for me, and I can only speak from my experience. When I saw it, I wasn't upset about it. It didn't make me feel one way or another. I was just like, oh, completely left field. Wasn't expecting that. Where's Damon? That was my thing. I was just like, where's Damon? But I wasn't upset about it.
You wanted a Minaj a trois, didn't you?
You're funny. Here we go. More Nicki. No, so it wasn't. I didn't think anything like that of it. But there were people that definitely had issues with it. But I feel like that just comes with anytime something like that happens in a show, movie. I mean, let's remember Buzz Lightyear.
Well, I see we've got. Well, never mind. I'll leave this, but
we got more article to read.
Yep, more article to read. The Last of Us, focusing on a gay couple where they did not focus on a gay couple. What is this man writing? The practice of mobbing sites like Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, which anybody who actually reviews film is not depending on anyways for actual criticisms. You took me away. Where am I at? Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, with negative user reviews, which gained mainstream attention following the premiere of the 2017 Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Was that the first time that a movie was review bombed in 2017? My God, there is a slant in this article, boy.
Yeah, it's been built up just to get to this. This is the reason. This part right here about Star Wars YouTubers is the reason why they made
an entire YouTube ecosystem is devoted to declaring projects like The Marvels, The Boys, woke garbage. Fam, those same people that you're trying to identify loved the first 2 seasons of The Boys. Loved it. Loved everything about Homelander. Loved it all. Now, I will admit that the last season was, it was a very, very wishy-washy. But the one thing I will not call it is the one word you tried to appropriate from my people.
Thank you. Yeah, because that's what I see. I'm like, damn, they used woke. I even hated in Deadpool when he said the word woke and he used it incorrectly. I hate like it being in zeitgeist in the wrong way. Yeah. Now, putting it in quotes doesn't save you.
It sure doesn't. It really doesn't.
Come on,
using
Adam.
it in the same way among other pungent, whatever, pungent Sorbricks.
Yeah, whatever
the fuck that is. Just as frequently, the backlash begins before the project has seen the light of day. It's not true. They're just lying. A Reddit mega thread dedicated to the outrage over Bridgerton casting a black woman. Oh, okay, well, I don't know nothing about Bridgerton. As a love interest for Francesca Hannah Dodd, social media epithets directed at the actors' color cast as elves and dwarves in the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, death threats aimed at Leslie Jones during the press tour for 2016's Ghostbusters. You know what they didn't mention? You know what they're not mentioning in here? You know how Tom Holland is in the Romeo and Juliet movie with that black woman and how she's been receiving death threats and Tom Holland hasn't opened up his mouth to say goddamn shit. It's only when there's, you know what? Ah! Ooh wee. Oh my goodness. Because all this other stuff they're talking about is trash. It's garbage. People were talking about Leslie Jones in 2016's Ghostbusters because it was one of the worst movies of all time. It was actively one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
What else did they do? Rings of Power. I watched 3 episodes of Rings of Power, and the same kind of vibes I got off of Rey. Like, all this shit is going to be hella easy for her. She's not really going to struggle. She's not even going to have to train for her powers, right? Like, she's just going to be the best from birth. That's what I was getting off of Gadrasil. And so, like, I just wasn't going to do that shit again. I'm not signing up for that shit again. I'm super powerful, superwoman, and I don't even have to lift weights. You know, I just woke up like this. I'm not doing that shit no more for any characters. It's poor writing, right? There are actual reasons why this shit stinks that has nothing to do with the skin color of the characters or their background.
It was an unfunny CGI mess.
Yes, absolutely.
But Liam says 2 things can be true at once. These products can't be bad, but that doesn't mean you should respond with bigotry.
Who is
responding to bigotry?
Did you hear me say some bigotry up here, Liam? I'm just saying, like, in the description that I just gave you, did you hear bigotry?
We can he's not talking about you. He's not talking about you. I know he is.
And I understand that, but again, it's a bit of a cop-out, right? If you hear criticism and think bigotry, that's not it's not on the person who's saying it, right? Bigotry is bigotry. I don't go around mistaking hearing people calling me out my name or saying derogatory things about my race. That's not mistakable. There's nothing objective about bigotry.
But there's people who are bigots.
Subjective.
Okay. There's like those YouTubers who you bite your tongue every time you want to say you're going to say their name, but you don't actually say their name because you don't want to give them oxygen. Those guys, no matter what they say, they could say nothing racist. But I know if the lead is black and they're saying, yeah, this movie just didn't do it for me. You know, you can save your money, guys. Wait for this one on streaming. You know that it's coming from, even though those words are not bigoted, the bigot says it. Therefore, you know that it's racially charged.
If we are going to allow 5 individuals on the internet to co-opt language, and then now that language is harmful, that's on the person describing it that way, not the people, not the other people who are just simply using language. Now, if a dishonest person chooses to adopt my language to be a wolf in sheep's clothing, to hide amongst people as a normal viewer, it's kind of up to the individual to kind of gauge that, because I don't know anybody's heart. Neither do you or anyone else, right? You kind of have to decide on your own whether or not this person is talking in earnest or he's not. The one thing about the characters, though, that just simply try to adopt the language and not really have a forthright agenda, they will show you. It will be painfully obvious. They will not stop at the opportunity to post the black character's face before anyone else, no matter how big that character is to the project or not. They're black, so we got to put them out there, right? It's woke. They're black. Black means woke, right? They will show you. As much as they say, oh, it's just the content, it's just this, it's just that, they will show you. You will never see me drop back into the bucket of, oh, I hate women, I hate gays, I hate this, I hate that, because that's not where I'm coming from. That's not where my
no, we were talking to you before we went live, Marcus. It's okay.
Yeah, that's not where my analysis comes from. But from a person who actually has those feelings, they won't be able to keep it in. And that's why we know who those individuals are. But my point to this person in this article is that, or even Liam, if you're going to let those people determine what the overall reception is or the overall feedback is, that's kind of your fault. Like, that's on you. You're choosing to hold the negative up over any amount of the positive that you could put up in lieu.
Stop instead. Empowering them. You're making them the thing.
Yeah, they are the one. Absolutely. This show that they are hyper focused on those individuals. They run their lives. They run your lives. They run you.
It is not just 5 people. Those YouTubers have millions of subscribers. Not all 1 million of those guys who are watching are bigots. They may be.
And I also don't think that they have the power to herd their millions of followers away from a product. That's not how this works.
For sure.
That is not how this works.
It only works the opposite way. You can only make someone want to watch something.
You know what I mean?
What are they going to talk about this week?
Work that way. We've been talking recast T'Challa for years, and if we could all just put our collective brain power together and collective subscribers together, you would think we have a lot more power than we actually do. It's just not how it works. You cannot force people not to go do something that they want to do when they're not being looked at, right? We can come here and we can all talk in the chat about what we want to see from T'Challa. The fact of the matter is that a good number of people who are supporting recast T'Challa went to go see the movie, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't do with your dollar. I'm just saying.
I was saying not to go, by the way.
Well, and that's okay. That's what I would suggest, but I can't force you to do
anything. Suggest. Yes.
Can't force you to do anything. The point is that we do not have the negative impact that these trades are trying to give us. And if we did, I think projects would be going our way. We would be getting this toxic fandom that they speak of wouldn't exist because we would get what we want. And then you wouldn't speak about it because we would be quiet buying your product. But we're not buying your product. So it can't be that toxic because you're not responding to it.
And perhaps the greatest irony of this phenomenon is the disproportionate impact these toxic fandoms have relative to the actual number. The vast majority of any fandom are casual fans, says John Van Kitters, VP of Star Trek brand development, who's been with the storied franchise since the 90s. The number of people who live and die on their franchises are very, very few, and then those who come after things that they espouse to love with venom are a really, really tiny subset of that already smaller subset of fandom. Hey, he's actually helping us, actually.
I mean, I understand where he's coming from, but the guy running Star Trek can't say this. You just can't. Because if you're saying that, then that means the thousands of people that are showing up to cons every year, the millions of people that are purchasing these stuff, you can't look them in their face and call them a casual for the sake of writing this toxic fandom article. Like, what do you do? What do you even? Everybody has lost the plot here. Everybody has lost the plot. You do not want people to describe themselves as casuals. The sentence, the vast majority of fans for this franchise or a franchise are casuals.
That might not be true.
That is a quiet part you never say outside.
But that also might not be true for Star Trek.
I don't think it's true. But even if it was true, you never utter those words ever. What are you talking about? You want anybody who is willing to go spend $9.50 on your movie to feel like the number one Star Trek fan in their neighborhood. What are you talking about? Why would you ever want a consumer to describe themselves as a casual fan? You want crazed fans. You want passionate buyers of your product. You want people that are going to encourage other people to buy the product. You want people that are going to go around talking about how great the product is. You want people that are going to buy auxiliary products to the main product. Those are diehard fans. Now, they can be casuals, and you want casuals to buy like that, but you don't describe them as casuals. This is fucking mind-numbing.
It's much easier to see it now. I don't know that it's really that much broader than where things were at in 95. It's just that bullhorn wasn't there. For some, combating that bullhorn amounts to acting as if they can't hear it. Particularly when it's a negative, toxic conversation we don't even engage, says a TV marketing executive. Like with toxic people, you try to not give it too much oxygen. I can agree with that.
Who is deciding whether it's toxic or not? It really, the only barometer on whether or not it's toxic is whether or not you agree. And if you don't agree, it's toxic.
Fine. One principal concern is that reacting to these kinds of attacks risks alienating fans who are unhappy with creative choices about a franchise, but haven't tipped over into abusive behavior. So a studio may attempt to amplify friendlier voices instead. We'll reply to comments that are positive and elevate those things, says the TV executive. That is totally those Star Wars shills right now that they're talking about. This is why Molly gets a gift bag and all that. Still, toxic fandoms have grown so pernicious that they've become a fact of life for many, and so powerful that while talent executives and publicists will privately bemoan the issue, fear of inadvertently triggering another back. Oh, no, 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 no. They do not have a fear of inadvertently triggering. I watched She-Hulk, right?
Yeah.
This is bull. In triggering another backlash, kept several studios from speaking for this story, even on background. As one rep put it, it's just a lose-lose.
This feels like state-sponsored propaganda. Like this feels like he was typing this shit with a gun to his head. It sounds terrible.
And this is the crazy part. Those who did talk with Variety all agreed the best defense is to avoid provoking fandoms. I don't want to see a single race swap again. Cosmo, the space dog turning into a woman, a female dog, is inexcusable. I don't want to see any of these little bullshit things that they do because you've been provoking the fans all the time, those fans all the time, and for no reason. You don't know how to do representation. Wonder Man is coming out anyways. Like, what are we talking about actually?
Yeah. You know what else though? Because of the way that they're framing this, you kind of begin to see how certain people get access now, right? Like they're laying out a roadmap for you of what is acceptable and what they will accept from you in terms of criticism. So if you want to maximize your access with Disney, you had better present your critique in the most positive light possible. You better stay away from negativity as much as possible. You had better find a way to say nice things about their project as much as possible, or else you probably won't have access because they believe the best way to deal with your criticism is to ignore it. That's literally what they just told us in this article. Makes you think about the people who all be all up in there, right?
Sorry, I've been in the comments. Comments are interesting.
Yeah, there's some stuff going on in there right now, but I'm gonna leave it alone. Let them work it out.
Star Wars Outlaws?
Sure.
Well, I was trying to pull it up on the side, and I don't have it. Star Wars Outlaws underperformed. Ubisoft can confirm. They, I'll just report it from memory. They came out and they said that we didn't meet what expectations we had for the Star Wars Outlawed video game. And that's wrong. I mean, that's really, really bad because they purposely always underestimate what they're going to make so that they can be like, oh, we met our expectations and some. So for the Outlaws game not to make it, it's tragic. Speaking of toxic fandoms, this is like a boys brand. And girl after female has been leading these Star Wars projects. And at some point, it has taken a toll. It is not wrong for me to tell you that boys are interested in Star Wars at a higher rate than girls. And too many women-led projects, movies, films, video games will result in this right here. And it's going to be a mighty climb back up to the top.
It would be like trying to sell basketball shoes at Rainbow and then not knowing why they're not selling. It would be like trying to sell training bras at Dick's Sporting Goods and not understanding why it's not going well. You know, let's sell panty liners at the gun range. That should work out well, right? Like, it is okay to sell products based on gender. It's okay. It just is. The companies do it every day. We do it here on YouTube. We sell a product that's gauged towards men and to the lovely ladies that join in with us as well, but it's mostly gauged towards men and male-driven content. Like, it is okay to sell a product to a certain gender. It just is. And honestly, I think that's what Star Wars is doing. I think they were trying to sell Star Wars to women and only women.
No, for real. The trilogy of movies were female led. Then there's the movie Rogue One, and Han Solo had one movie for males. But look at that. That's so many women for a male's brand. So when we get to the TV shows and we see Mando, Book of Boba Fett, but then there's Ahsoka and there's Acolyte. Like, am I complaining for nothing? Andor, big ensemble cast. Even though he led it, a lot of women in there too. There's been a focus to be like, yo, let's get these girls in here. And I wouldn't have had that focus for a boys brand.
It makes it even worse when they're not good, right? Because I think Ahsoka Tano is one that should have worked going away. Because even during the boys era of Star Wars, she was a standout character, right? So she had a lot of name recognition and she had a lot of intrigue behind what she would look like in live action, especially after Mando season 2. So it's one thing to be so female focused and then go away from your core audience, but it's a whole nother thing to fail at it miserably too. It's like, well, if you were actually giving us, a Xena warrior princess, Lucy Lawless, or, a Gal Gadot Wonder Woman from Wonder Woman 1, that'd be something, but not Wonder Woman 84 type shit. You know what I mean?
This is what I mean when I constantly say the Star Wars brand. However, as you know it, or it's not, it's done. It's dwindling. I won't say it's done. It is dwindling. It's dwindling. It's not in the same place that it ever once was before. And I think to get it out of this rut that it's in, it's going to take, as I've said, an absence. It's going to take an absence, and with that absence, creativity during that absence to come back and really give something that you gave back that was astounding in the 80s and the 70s, that wowed people to this galaxy and these people and everything before. So when you have video games, a Star Wars video game failing, these are bigger conversations at Lucasfilm that need to be that need to come to the table. And I really think that starts with, again, the mouse really needs to relinquish their rights to this franchise. Wow. Sell it, whatever, give it to someone else. I just don't think that they do a good job handling this. I think that you need to give it to somebody that's going to be a bit more mature with this franchise. I'm not saying you take the family aspect out of it, because that is what George Lucas has always said. This is for kids. George Lucas has said that. Star Wars is for kids. He has said that even recently. It is for kids. But even with that, you have people that with the 70s and the 80s, and then my generation with the prequels and things like that have grown with this franchise, and we are no longer kids. But some of us have kids and want to show this franchise to our kids. But if we're showing this goofiness to our kids, and even when the kids themselves, you keep saying, people, they keep saying it's for kids, but the kids aren't even interested. You're not even selling merchandise at the stores. Kids aren't even interested. Yeah. Kids aren't talking about Star Wars. Kids aren't dressing up as Star Wars characters this Halloween. No one's dressing up as Ahsoka or any of the Mando characters. And I'm not saying no one, but it's not, that's not a sold out costume for this Halloween. Nothing Star Wars is. So they really need to have a long come to Jesus meeting about what to do with this franchise. And it's not continue to put out more mediocre shit and think it's gonna work. More. Let's put out more series, based around this. Have more writers that don't know. No, you really need to take a halt. Take a halt. They're in danger.
This cover isn't attracting that casual audience. That little boy who's walking, "Daddy, mommy, get me this game."
If you don't see that title right there. If you don't see the Star Wars small right above the Outlaws, you wouldn't know that this is a Star Wars game.
Ooh, good.
How would you know that this is a Star Wars game?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, this is the first open world Star Wars game. I don't even play video games like that anymore. But if you would have told me an open world Star Wars game, bro, come on. That is something I dreamed of as a kid. And not only that, because I would have played this. Even now, I would have played this. But my thing is, it was the trailer. The trailer was so unimpressive for me. Not only, I mean, you go back and look at the Eclipse trailer.
This thing looked terrible.
Yeah,
It looked like
it hasn't. Yeah, it doesn't.
Done.
It does not look good at all. You look at the Eclipse trailer that was released 10 years ago. That trailer that got me. I remember that. That was exciting. That did nothing for me, and it had me personally. For me, it had nothing to do with it being a woman lead or anything like that. I can play with the female lead or play with the game like that. For me, it was just the simple fact that it looked like shit. It did not excite me, and I was just like, oh, okay.
Doesn't help that this is going to be another L to Dune too. Like Dune has a video game. Dune Awakening is coming out next year. It already looks like it's going to blow this out of the water. They've got that. Obviously, the films are outproducing Lucasfilm right now. Well, not sheerly, but in terms of relative how much we put into it versus what we got back. Yeah, no, they're hand over fisting them because they're not consistently losing over time like Lucasfilm has. Plus, they got a TV show coming up here following the Bella Gesserit.
They do, and I'm checking that shit out. That looks
You know what I mean? In a spot where Lucasfilm is probably not going to drop for the rest of the year. So in a short order, they had a 20-year head start on Dune. 20 years. They had 1, 2, 3 Solo, Rogue One, Andor. They had 6 theatrical releases. They had Ahsoka, Boba Fett, Mando, Obi-Wan. Is that it for the TV show?
Yeah, I believe so.
They had 4 television shows, right? 20 years, 4 TV shows, 6 theatrical releases. Dune has spent less than 20% of what they've spent on all of that. Dune is more popular. Today, in 2024, Dune is more popular.
No, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Not wrong. Like, and see my
and I forgot the $70 billion that they spent. Not the seven. That's what they bought Lucasfilm from. $70 billion was Fox.
Yeah.
$7 billion that they built. They bought it for.
Yeah. See, Luke and the Lucasfilm can't. That's and I don't want to go in a hole, but this is the last thing I'm saying. They can't get away from the nostalgia. They can't get away from, like, even today. It was so irritating to me. Like, I saw people sharing, like, because Lucasfilm shared it, like these new wanted posters of the Ghost Crew. Why the fuck are we going back to the Ghost Crew? And why are you making new? And I get it, because today is the day 10 years ago Rebels premiered. Then just tweet that. Why are we putting it like? It's just the grabbing to nostalgia for me constantly. We cannot get out of this era. They cannot. They just, because they don't know how to make money out of. They do. They just refuse to use it.
They bought this shit to rewash.
You're right, and it's the fact that, like, they refuse to, like, okay, they brought Thrawn from Legends, and there's other things that, I mean, but there's just so much there that you're just sitting there. Like, it's crazy. So yeah, no, it's insane. It's insane to me. Lucasfilm.
On the Beau.
Oh yes, is Beau next?
Beau DeMayo.
What do you got going? Oh yeah. He was talking about Rogue and Magneto and all that other stuff. Apparently, we were going to do some more of that. We're going to do some more Rogue and Magneto for 2 more seasons. Like, come on, man. He's been self-reporting a lot, and honestly, I've been grateful that he's been talking. It's when it first started, I was very apprehensive. It was some nasty stuff being mentioned. You kind of want to slow play it when that's on the docket. But then you kind of clear through some of that. It seems like Disney's doing its Disney thing. They're running spin on a lot of the working conditions stuff. I was on his side. We had already been hearing about some of that stuff. But now we're at a point where this feels very cash grabby. It feels like a lot of the stuff he's offering up doesn't make sense. It's contradicting things that he said before. I don't know whether or not to be angry or happy he didn't continue on X-Men 97 at this point. I don't know, man. I'm glad he kept talking though, because I wanted to see a full picture. I'm starting to get it.
I'm kind of there, yeah.
I'm just glad he kept talking.
It's interesting. You know, I have titled this entire Beau fiasco deal what he said in an article, in that one, not in the article, yeah, in the article where he said a bunch of spinning and lying. Who's spinning and who's lying? Because that's what I've titled this entire. This is a bunch of like, who's spinning and who's lying. I think for me, the biggest thing is I think Beau doesn't realize. I think Beau thinks that maybe this event happened 40 years ago, when in reality it was 4 months ago, and we do remember what was said 4 months ago by him. We do have screenshots of what was said 4 months ago by him, and the positions that he is taking now aren't the positions he was taking 4 months ago. The things he, so it's just it's interesting.
What happened to that was above my pay grade? I didn't decide the T'Challa thing.
Yeah.
Now it's as a black man, as a black man from where is he from? From Brazil. As a black man from Brazil, it was very heavy on my heart having an African American man die that I didn't work with.
But even for me, that too, that the Sunspot stuff, like when he was going back saying like he fought for Sunspot's heritage, brother.
Darius, I wanted to reach through that article and grab that man when I read that shit. You said you fought for what? You fought for what on Sunspot?
Yeah,
I thought Sunspot was a self-report. I thought that was you in the character. Just what's going on, fam?
Yeah,
what's going on? And then if you was being such a black man, keeping a black man out of a project, with T'Challa, why you couldn't be no black man with Roberto DaCosta's origin story?
Right.
With Storm, with Bishop, with any of the other black characters on this roster. We got lame ass excuses about how empathy and civility are actually superpowers for Storm. And now you talking all this pro-black shit. Like, man, get away from me.
Told you, yeah. That's that black when I need to be.
When it's convenient.
Black when convenient. Yeah. Yeah. I need the community support, so I need to show my blackness here.
You wanna know how I know he was full of shit? So as he's further explaining in the Twitter thread, he's like, but if the decision was made today, it would have been different. Okay. All right. Fam. How does 3 years separate you from a man you didn't know any further? How does 3 years separate you any further from a man that you didn't have interactions with? You were already supposed to be able to go ahead and do your job as it was. What is so if you shot X-Men 97 in 2024, you would have stuck with what was canonically correct. But since you shot it, what was it at that point in 2021? That would have been roughly two years after Chadwick. He was 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what would the difference be? Would you have discovered him? Did you have some conversations with his late widow, with Derek, with any of his family? What changed? It seems like you're acknowledging at very least what the decision should have been, because you're putting up something that's inarguable, which is your grief, in defense of it. So it has to be defended. Why are you defending something that you said? What did he say? What did he say? He said humanity over continuity.
Yeah.
I swear to God, these people.
So it's because it's like I said, it was always the fake outrage. That none of these people actually care about Chadwick. Okay,
like they keep speaking up his name, like fam, he is a guy that worked at your building. He just worked with you, and he didn't even work directly with you. And it's not fair for you to keep pulling up this man's death as an excuse for you making a mistake. Say I made a mistake. Be a human being and say I made a mistake. It was an oversight. We were emotional over Chadwick Boseman. I made a mistake. Not, oh, I'm a black man, Chad dying, it didn't feel right. It wasn't that. That's the shit that they allowed the Wakanda Forever cast to roll with. And you know what? They actually worked with him, so everybody back the fuck off. I ain't even seen a Beau DeMayo and Chadwick Boseman picture.
Bro, I'm thinking the same fucking thing.
You ain't never wrote. I don't know if you wrote on any of his former projects. You formerly directed for him. What is this Chadwick Boseman, Beau DeMayo connection that we didn't hear about until you had to explain why T'Challa wasn't in X-Men 97?
Right. Now, granted, like I said, he did tell me before that episode we were having, that his cat is named after Chadwick Boseman. Yeah. His cat's name is Chad. Or Chadwick. So if you're a
fan of Chadwick Boseman, then you should be able to talk to us as fans of Chadwick Boseman and just say, I made an emotional decision. Right. And you know what? I guess in a roundabout way, that's kind of what he did. He just did not own it the way that I would have liked to see it. Right. It was very much so y'all don't understand. Like this was a me and Marvel family thing. And it's just like, miss me with that, man. I done worked in corporate America for the last 10 years. I know just how much that work family shit goes. Oh yeah. Like stop that.
Marvel gave such a shit about Chadwick Boseman that his anniversary, his passing just happened. The anniversary of his passing just, passed. And here we are. Marvel didn't tweet, not Instagram. But the only time that Chadwick's death is used is when it's to either draw on some type of sympathy or use it in some type of argument or something like that. That's why I say it's the fake outrage. None of this shit is real. None of this is real. None of them give a flying shit about Chadwick or anything like that. Because if you did, then why are we not pulling up the Chadwick Boseman Foundation? Why wasn't that tweeted about, on the anniversary of his death or anything like that? None of them care.
How many of y'all started a scholarship in his name? How many of y'all donated to cancer research, cancer research?
No one.
It's like
no one, because it's not real. It's just something to be used to deflect against the recast hashtag. That's it. If the hashtag didn't exist, this fake outrage wouldn't exist. I promise you. No one, I promise you, Chill, because I know you want to read this. I'm done. None of these people, day to day, minute to minute, hour to hour, the minute they open their eyes or close them, are thinking about Chadwick Boseman.
They're not.
I'm sorry to say it. He's not on anyone's minds like that. But his family, maybe his widow. But these average, everyday people that are going around talking about, stop, bro. Stop it. It's been long enough. Stop the charade.
You have real life people that you lose in your life and you feel that tug. So you know what it is they're trying to describe, but you also understand that you, even if you wanted to, even if you admired a person from afar, a celebrity, an idol, you can't get yourself up to have that level of sadness for someone that you did not know. Right. Not usually, not commonly. It is not common that you extend that type of longing grief to someone you didn't have a deep emotional connection.
Yeah. Beau DeMayo. On season 2 of X-Men, the battle was the one episodic director and executive uniting to mock me and the writers for insisting that Cyclops and Jean be called Slim and Red by Nathan in the future, per the comics. They felt Scott Lobel's name were stupid and couldn't take them seriously. So that's the point of this whole entire thread, okay? All right. 1.35 billion, just past the Avengers and still counting. That's why you really got the boot for purposefully hurting the ratings just because you're a Wolverine hater who happens to be Marvel's biggest cash cow. Season 2 will focus on Logan and you'll cry as a river. Actually, not true, LOL. Then he says, well,
what's not true? That you'll cry me like a river, or that Logan's going to be the focus of season 2? Which one's not true?
That he's a Logan hater. Well, it sounded better than being a predator or a creep, but if you prefer that one, sure, go ahead. A long time ago, I told you your season 2 script would be rewritten. Now I'm telling you, it'll sensibly focus on Logan and more Emma. Remind me then. And then he tags Robotic Emmett and our best friend, Jay Castorino. Okay. As soon as you can provide any evidence to present me for your racist, homophobic accusations, I'll engage. Beyond that, man. So what the fuck did he find racist and homophobic up top? I don't get it.
It sounded better than being a predator or a creep. I mean, that's stuff that other people accused you of, fam. He's referencing something. I don't like that. I hate when people do that shit.
There's plenty of reasons to use racism, and there's plenty of, and homophobia is another one, but racism specifically, you weaken it the more you use it, and it's not legitimate. Because then they can go, man, no such thing as racism. There's all these false racism things, so it's hard to believe when real racism is happening. I hate that he just did that for the tweet, because that guy's tweet
mentioned anything about sexuality in there. He said, or you could be mentioned as a creep.
Yeah, he did.
What did he say that could be construed as homophobic?
They gave him an ultimatum. He said, "Okay, you didn't like that one, so what else they're calling
right? Yeah, okay,
you?
I guess we'll go back to what everybody else is calling you." Anyways, that's weird. But again, I no comment is an option. You could have stuck with the first thing that you told us a couple of months ago. It wasn't my decision. Why? Now clear that up. Why did you tell us that it wasn't your decision, just to turn around and be like, it was such an emotional decision that you had to not have chat beginner? And why didn't you feel like that was going to come off as a lie to anybody? Like no one was going to question that at all.
You know, it goes back to when I asked him initially if T'Challa was going to show up. And he tweeted, "That's interesting. That has a whole different meaning to what I initially thought it had now." Is it interesting because of the conversation that you had in there, or that you're telling us that you had in there? Or is it interesting? I think, here's the thing too, with him being online so much and interacting, he's obviously aware of the hashtag. I mean, we've interacted more than on one occasion on Twitter, so I'm not assuming, maybe he has clicked on the profile, maybe he hasn't, but he also has to know that I am a recast T'Challa supporter. So him seeing that hashtag and things like that, maybe that's why it was interesting. Maybe it was because it was like, interesting, y'all about to be disappointed. Because I did not fight for T'Challa. I fought for T'Chaka.
Oh my goodness. He didn't fight for nobody. He didn't fight for Roberto. He didn't fight for Rory. He didn't fight for Bishop. He didn't fight for nobody.
Now this thing here was interesting. I'm sorry, Jill, you pulling something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, he fought all right. Here's a tweet. I mean, okay, the Speedo when Magneto was chained up on the X was wild. Originally, he was nude, and the beat played as dehumanizing torture. It was Marvel's idea to put him in briefs.
Fuck up.
The crew and I were so beaten down by that point. We just gave each other looks, knowing their note would do the opposite. Such is ignorance.
Originally, Magneto was what?
He was nude. Can you believe it?
This man is freaky as hell. They need to lock him up. Why is he so damn freaky?
Originally, he was nude.
In a
beat played as dehumanizing torture.
I wonder why. Naked and sprawled up on a sideways crucifix. I wonder why they didn't go with that. I wonder.
You know what? If you go back to our reaction of that episode, Q and I said, there's some freaky shit going on with the why is Magneto hemmed up like that. Like that just it didn't.
It's getting late. It's getting real late. That was the Beau DeMayo news. We appreciate you guys for joining us on another Pantheon stream. The Spoiler Kings are live right now. Everyone check out the Spoiler Kings. They're still streaming.
Why was he gonna be naked?
Oh my God, that boy putting his own feels into the TV show. That is crazy.
Not my Magnus.
Woo wee.
Not my Eric.
That man said, "I want to see Eric in the nude.
Put it on the relationship with Professor
Nail him to
X.
the cross.
Well, huh?
Nail him to the cross."
There was supposed to be a relationship with Professor X. I couldn't find that tweet, but they were supposed to be alluding to that, expanding on their relationship.
Eric and Professor?
Yeah.
No, everybody doesn't have to be gay.
Wait a minute. He said that Professor X and Beau said this?
Yeah, where is that in canon? Did I miss that story arc or something?
I don't remember where it was, so maybe I'm misreporting, but the gay Magneto thing was supposed to happen.
No, they were supposed to continue the Rogue and Magneto arc for a little bit. They were going to get married, I think. Or no. When Gambit made it back, when he came back, then him and Rogue were going to get married. It was going to be a big redemption arc after her and Magnus's wedding and whatever.
The freak off.
Yeah. Oh my God. About to be naked on a TV show that you're trying to send to 10 and 12-year-olds. Man, it's becoming so easy to put together why. Not that Disney didn't have a hand in it. Not that they didn't have a hand in it, because if he's telling truth, they definitely played a role, but he didn't make it hard. He didn't make it very hard.
This is the last thing I want to say. Not on that. This is interesting, though. This is that Variety deal that says the studios are constructing super fan focus groups to evaluate various materials for franchise projects to avoid social media backlash. And then in quotes, it says, if it's early enough and the movie isn't finished yet, we can make those kinds of changes. They're going to go in with people telling them like, oh, if you do this, and this fan group is going to retaliate in this way. And if you do this, and they're going to ... Very interesting.
Who are they casting to be in these groups? How do you get an application?
That's a good question.
They probably get some LA YouTubers. Jody's Corner.
I don't think they would bring him in. I don't think they're going. If you are already adverse to outside criticism, you are not then going to go out and find hypercritical people to keep you honest. You're going to find the same type of people that you bring in for early reviews and let them tell you what's going on. It's no different than what they already do, right? They bring in a lot of in-house personnel to view their movies for screeners. This is the same ilk. They're going to find people who aren't going to criticize them too harshly, put them in a focus group, and then gauge it off of that. Nothing effectively is going to change if that's the case.
The way you read it right now, Darius read it, made it sound like that wasn't what they were doing. It was like, we'll change. Now we'll actually get these fan focus group.
Give it to me again. Does it speak about any specifics about who they're choosing, Darius?
Let me see this other one I bookmarked. Hold on. I don't think it was specifics on that. Hold on. Where is it? On that. No. It's a Variety article, but it doesn't take me to the article.
Yeah, I mean, it would be in their best interest not to. I just have a hard time trusting that, again,
here it is.
If you feel like any bit of criticism you're receiving is toxic or you find a way to dismiss it, that you're going to be very hard on yourself about who you pick to critique your work.
Couple things.
It's in the same article we were in.
Was it? Okay, we didn't finish reading it. It was like getting late. Amazing Lucas is another LA YouTuber. And I don't care how shill the YouTuber is or how critical the YouTuber is. They'll know because they know the algorithm. If you're a top YouTuber.
Yeah. Yep, that's true. That's true. Well, my closing thoughts for this evening are Jaguar White is she is something else.
She's playing with fire. If anybody loves her, they should put their arms around her and watch her.
She is very much playing with fire.
Playing with fire.
The names that she has dropped, the accusations that she is making.
And don't you do it. Don't you drop it on here.
Oh, no. The names and all that. It's this whole thing.
I will say she better have what she says she has.
Oh man,
she had better have every bit of what she says she has, because if the door she's knocking on right now is not going to waste any time. They're not going to waste any time, and they're going to do it quietly.
Nah.
They're going to do it quietly, and then all of a sudden we just won't hear from.
We won't see her
Jaguar,
again.
right? Yeah.
Yep, and it'll be super quiet because you can't when you that's you're playing with fire now. So
of course, we want to see anything bad happen to anybody, but they just don't play those type of games, and so I think she should either produce the evidence that she says she has or move on.
Yeah, because see, the difference in what she's doing now is this isn't on a YouTube channel. This was on Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
So
nobody cares when you're talking shit to YouTubers, Vlad, or anybody who's willing to pay you a couple $1,000s to talk your shit.
Word.
Piers Morgan has a little bit different of a reach.
Yo, Darius doesn't give a fuck. Like, I wanted to munch on my food that I had right off, and I'm just like, we're about to end the stream anyways. He just digs in and I'm delicioso. All right.
No, gotta eat.
You gotta eat. Take care of yourself. Eat, get your vitamins up, protein, all that.
Yeah.
All that. Appreciate you guys. Oh yeah, it's Spoiler Kings. They are live, so go check them out. Actually, are we done completely, guys? I'm done.
I think so. Yep.
You're done?
I'm done.
Follow me. Back of the bus. Watch us every Sunday. We go live.
I'm live tomorrow. We're supposed to be live Monday. Car broke down. Well, it didn't break down. My battery died waiting on fucking Church's Chicken for 45 minutes. Then Wednesday.
The Church's Chicken.
Yeah. Then Wednesday, I'm supposed to go live again. But my last call of the day was someone who did not speak English, so I had to have an interpreter. And oh, man, that was a fun call. So, yeah. Going live tomorrow.
Hey, Pantheon viewers, we're the Spoiler Kings. Come check us out because we're live right now.
And we are talking about the new trailers. We're reviewing new movies and breaking down the new TV shows.
So once you're done here, just tune into the Spoiler Kings. Come join in the fun.
Hold up, Spoiler Kings. Look, I'm happy for y'all, and that's cool. But a Pantheon stream ain't over until I say it's over, okay? So on that note, we out.